guys know the way that goes. Welcome, everybody, to another Adventures of Middle-earth session. It is April 10th, 2018. It's about 25 minutes after 12 p.m. Eastern, and I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to some awesome fun times with the crew, with the Fellowship, as we continue on with Kinstrife and Dark Tidings, as we're getting to a pretty intense portion, actually, of the adventure, as you were about to see. If you liked that introduction and you're like, wow, this is awesome, where can I find out more? That's you were in the right place. Here are the ways that you can support the stream. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to follow the stream. That's one of the most important things. Please make sure to retweet the stream with !CTT. Make sure to tweet it out and let people know that we are here. That would be awesome. Please, if you haven't already done so, consider checking out the Discord with !ARVcord. That Twitter that I mentioned before is !ARVtweets. So that's always helpful. And if you haven't already done so, take a look at ARV Shop, !ARV Shop, which will allow you to check out merchandise and various things that we have here. Right now, only Infinity and Beyond, but pretty soon we're going to be having other things as well added into that mix, so that would be helpful. And of course, the other financial ways to support the channel. One is the Patreon, currently sitting at $478.96. A lot of cool stuff that you can get. I actually have a couple of character background things that I have to do over the next couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to doing that. You can get a lot of cool stuff for yourself and a lot of cool stuff for the channel as well. We have the third Arvanaut Idol contest, which will be coming up next month as a consequence of the Patreon and all that kind of good stuff. So that is what awaits you. And then last but certainly not least, of course, is that sub button, that button that is sitting right above there. Oh my God, Lucathea with a resub for 3 months. Hyped. Thank you, Lucathea. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Survival Discipline Boutique Baking. Nice. Outstanding. I like it, Lucathea. Thanks, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So yes, you can do as Lucathea has done, and you can resub to the channel. You can get the Arvany hype, which you saw from Stump-O-Matic right there, and a lot of other cool stuff. So all of that awaits you, and that would be much appreciated. So thank you, everyone, for supporting the stream, and thank you, everybody, for checking out what we've got here, and I hope you are looking forward to Adventures in Middle-earth. Quick schedule note. Adventures in Middle-earth Wilderland Adventures continues now. At about 4 p.m. Eastern, I will be over at GOG for Pen and Pixels, continuing my Divinity Original Sin 2 playthrough. Then that will probably be the last stream of the week, because as you folks know, I am going to a wedding of my good friend Russ, who is of course a member of the Arv Vocalists. I am flying out with Little Arv on Friday, and I'll be out there Friday, Saturday, and coming back on Sunday. So very unlikely that a stream will happen. There might be an impromptu IRL stream, but probably not. So next weekend we'll probably be out of commission, but that'll be the last time for a few months that we'll be out of commission, because I will be then coming back, and of course we'll be here going forward. Next month is going to be a big month. We've still got a lot of D&D and Esper Genesis and stuff to do, and of course another AME session this month, but next month we've got all of that, plus we've got ArvCon, so I'll be talking more about ArvCon in the weeks to come. That's one of the biggest events that we do on this channel, and which is our charity convention to support the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. So, but I'll talk more about that when we get there. But for right now, it is my great pleasure to get back into this game, and specifically to get back into Adventures of Middle-earth with the wonderful party, which is pumped up and not at all stressed and is totally ready for what's about to happen. So I have unmuted myself. I'm now going to unmute them, and dun 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 dun, there they are. Look at them, ready, not stressed, prepared, totally comfortable and ready and all that. And I will start, as I usually do, with the person who is pretending to be asleep but is not, because I already talked to him earlier, so I have called him out. And that, of course, is our good friend Trendane. Hi,
what?
Tren.
I mean, hi.
Yes. Hi, Tren. How are you? How's life, etc.?
As I am on occasion a method actor, I am very sleepy. And
we heard this from a lot of players today, by the way. I just want to say that note.
Weird how this works. I'm doing okay-ish. I got about 2 hours of sleep, I think, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. But woke up at 7:30 my time, convinced that I was an hour and a half late for the show, and so it's craziness. Fortunately, I was not, and then I was very upset with myself for calculating the time zones backwards again, like I seem to do ever. So it's like, no, it's 6 o'clock here. No, it's not. 9 o'clock, and it's But aside from that, doing okay. I am in the process of there is this it's not really me. There is as you know, I narrate for the Escape Pod on occasion, and they have been nominated for a Hugo for best semi-prozine. And I'm like, wait, does that mean I get it? I'm like, no, it doesn't mean I get anything.
It means you're associated with people who do Hugo things.
I'm doing that right now. I'm associated with people who've won Hugos.
Yes, welcome to my life for the last decade. Hanging out with people associated with Hugos.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm playing Tawny Bear. I don't know if he's the Hearth Miner right now. He's really just crazy. Been awake for way too long and has basically been handed an 8-ball by Bjorn. It's just, here, have some cocaine. No, I need sleep, not cocaine. But I did discover since the last time we played what reed mace actually is.
Oh, good.
It's cattails.
Okay.
Oh, what?
I know. I was
We just been picking it up.
I grabbed my book up. I was like, is reed mace even in here? And so I looked it up, and it's freaking cattails. And now it makes sense why it's called reed mace.
Reed
because
mace.
you got the thing with the big weight at the end. And
I swear, I thought we were looking for like four-leaf clover as in patches of grass. I thought we were looking for. How could it have been that freaking hard?
You were actually wading through. You were
By the
wading through
river.
reed mace as you were trying to find. Like, where's this reed mace?
damn cattails out of the way. Pull up the rhizome. Well, they are tasty though. And eating the rhizomes and forgetting the fact that this is what I'm looking for. Anyway,
Oh God.
and Echo Alpha is correct. I am running a GoFundMe, but I will talk about that at the end of the thing. So.
Okay, cool. Pleasure as always to have Tren with us. Very much looking forward to this month of role-playing shenanigans. Moving right along, that brings us down to Will, who is also tired for different reasons. Hi, Will. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. It's a good kind of tired after a satisfying few days of events filled in your life where you feel like you've achieved many things rather than just sitting at a computer doing work. So yeah, no, I'm feeling good. Although I am stressed about this. I was coming back from London. I was coming back from London today, and I was like, I could take a bus, but it's going to get me back 10 minutes late for this. So I'm going to pay a ridiculous cab fare in order to go to war on time. So yeah, so no, I'm excited for today. I'll be playing Robar Staunton, who is probably gonna die with my rolls.
Maybe you got them all out of the way. Maybe you were just building up over time, and today is the 20s, all 20s all the time.
Yeah, maybe. I've stopped believing that after after week 20 or however long we've been.
I'm broken.
Yeah, but it'll be a good death if he does die. So I'm ready.
Awesome. I am looking forward to not your death. I'm looking forward to seeing how you do today. It should be fun times. I await your death with pleasure. No, I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. It is always a pleasure to have Will with us. And moving right on down the line, it is also a pleasure to have the well-lit, you just brightly lit, shining. I sense that Gloryhammer is playing a guitar solo right outside her window, and it's just light is just shining down right now on our. There you go. See, nice. That's what I'm talking about. My other car is an undead unicorn. Outstanding. And of course, I'm talking about Terry Tunes. Hi, Terry. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. I guess had a stressful day, and sorry for just leaving. My neighbor. Like one of my neighbors rang the doorbell and wanted stuff to know.
Neighbors.
I guess. Yeah, the worst, right?
Right.
Yeah. I guess like I should introduce myself or something. Like
yeah,
hi.
that might be a thought. That might be a thing.
Yeah. Hi. I'm Tari Toons. I play Inge, who is a dwarf and a stonemason, and she has a pony which is very cute. So the pony's name is Lilleman, and yeah, basically. I'm not really fully in the game yet.
You will
it's
be.
going to take a bit.
You will be. All right.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing how Inga handles things in the battle to come. And last but certainly not least, wearing what she earlier referred to as her war paint. We have, of course, Amal Elmatar, who's with us. Hello, Amal. How are you? And is that, did I specify that properly? Is this your war
You
paint?
did. This is River's Warpaint.
Okay.
I figured I wanted to look slightly more rivery today. So my name is Amal. I will be playing a character named The River, who is a woodsman of Rosgobel, and I also, similarly to Tren, decided completely deliberately to do the method thing of getting very little sleep last night because of shout out to Michael Townsend of Ottawa and his obscenely addictive game A Dark Room, which I discovered yesterday for the first time. I stayed up really, really late gathering wood and making bullets from sulfur, from coal, from steel. Anyway, it was a dark time in a dark room, but I'm here now, and I'm wearing very shiny lipstick. It actually looks very different on my screen than it does in my tube. It's not this turquoise, but I like it better this way.
When you mentioned it first, before we went live, I was thinking, when you said this is the war paint, I'm like, it's like she slathered herself in woad over. You know?
Oh yeah. Like, no, I straight up was thinking that if there were time, she absolutely would do that. I'm just going to wholesale invent war paint customs for the woodsmen of Rosgobel, who will do dyeing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually thinking if she were to do it, though, she probably wouldn't put it on her lips. Well, she'd put it on her lips, but also she'd do a kind of band of blue like that, I think, and maybe dots. But I didn't go all the way with that because I only have this lipstick, and it would be silly to put it on the rest of my face.
Do you are you gonna put some on Stone? Is Stone gonna get like some paint, like, you know,
Stone
racing stripes or something?
Yeah, I mean, if it were, if she had access to all the stuff that I would want her to, he'd probably be reddened. He'd probably be like I think.
Okay.
Probably there's something called a Reddleman in the UK, where like it used to be someone who would actually put the marks on the sheep and stuff like that, and their hands were always they're always dyed red basically from their work. There's one who turns up in a Thomas Hardy novel called The Return of the Native. Anyway, enough about that. This is for anyone who's curious, it's NYX's Cosmic Metals lip cream, and it is
Hashtag not sponsored.
No, it's super not. I just really love this. Andrea Phillips gave me this, and I loved it. And it is Celestial Star, which I think is very Tolkien-esque also.
Yes, very, very appropriate. And I should say, by the way, for those of you who haven't, I just saw in the bookstore, although I didn't have a chance to pick it up, I was out in Seattle, and I was right across from Third Place Books, which is an independent bookstore out in Seattle, and they had the new Beren and Luthien that was put together by Christopher Tolkien, Tolkien's son, and, you know, sort of culled from the notes of his father. And we're running out of notes that he hasn't worked with already, you know, so like there's not a lot left, and I'm gonna have to check it out, because the last one that he did like this, which was probably 6-7 years ago, The Children of Hurin, is gorgeous. It's sad, but it's gorgeous work. So if you ever have the chance to check it out, I gotta make sure I go order Beren and Luthien so I can have a good cry. Very uplifting. But it's pretty sweet. So I am looking forward to that. And I realized, yes, Tren, yes.
This made me think of a question that's been stuck in my head for the last month, and that is, because I haven't read it and I don't know where the Silmarillion ends, if it ends in the future or if it ends in the, anyway, what happened to the Ents? Did they ever, I mean, I would imagine when Treebeard steps out and does his, you know, his roaring cry thing that basically wakes up every Ent within earshot, would the Entwives not have been like, what, you know, what the hell, what happened? Did they eventually go away? What happened to the Ents?
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to actually remember now whether I'm waiting
for the next book until I find out.
Spoilers. I need to actually double check and see.
I don't think we ever get an answer to the Entwives.
I don't think so.
And we actually, there are lots of really cool, like, alternate interpretation. I mean, like, I don't think the Entwives are asleep. I think the Entwives are off doing their own thing, because the Ents kind of, I don't know, shot the bed, as it were, in some way, and that they need to do more than announce their presence in order to reconcile with the Entwives. But that's only my headcanon. I don't know for sure.
Okay, I like that. That's a reasonable headcanon. We'll find
They
out
are
with the
eternally
next.
banished to the couch. Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which in their case is like a riverbed, something like
Oh.
that. There's another book in the series of Children of Hurin and Baron and Luthien. Yes, that's right. I had heard that. The Children of Hurin thing would be, oh man, so good. Anyway, yes, I don't know. I had the same sense. I don't actually remember seeing anything about the details of what happens to the Entwives. So yeah, it's fanfic ready. It is fanfic ready.
I think it's also entirely possible that some of the Ents are the Entwives, because Treebeard very clearly said that he doesn't remember what they look like.
Yeah,
So-
actually,
Right.
that would be amazing. That would be actually my favorite possible interpretation. Is like, no, you're all yes. I remember Treebeard saying something to the extent that they just had different priorities, or something, and it's so yeah. But anyway, yeah, I want to reread it before I reinvigorate my fanfic. But that is an amazing interpretation. I love that.
That's pretty cool. Did you see? So Elvel Marinin put in the chat that there's the book that was announced today was The Fall of Gondolin. Really?
No, it clearly says the fall of Gondolin, obviously.
Oh man. Dude, that's okay. That's pretty awesome. Again, I love how every tale that comes out, and more sadness, and even more sadness. Wow, that's pretty sweet. That, of course, for those of you who don't know, that is where Glamdring and Orcrist and, of course, Sting all come from Gondolin, actually forged in Gondolin. So the fall of Gondolin is no joke as a story. So that's neat. Awesome. Thank you for telling me, Elvel. Now I have two things to go get from the bookstore immediately. All right, but for right now, we do want to get actually into the game, because speaking of battles, these folks have one to fight. So let's get some music going, and let's talk a little bit. So here is the situation as the party has it. The party has been spending much of this episode, which is Kinstrife and Dark Tidings, in pursuit of a fugitive whose name is Odoric. The person who was bringing this character, Odoric, to justice, Merovich, was killed by an attack of some orcs, and Odoric then made his escape and went all the way down, when the party had traced him, to Stonyford, a village, so that he could meet with Brunhild, his stepsister, and perhaps something more, and speak to her about circumstances of why it was that he had come back and why he was never going to be seen again. When the party tracked him there, he had already left, but in talking to some of the people of the village, and in particular Brunhild, they discovered that the person who had been killed, Rathvik, killed by Oderic, might not have been the best guy in the first place, and because there was perhaps abuse that was going on and other things, and so the party decided that their situation had grown considerably more complex. Either way, though, they needed to track Odoric down, and they eventually did so, but they found him in the company of a large group of bandits led by a man named Valter the Bloody, who has designs on being a new king, beginning with the destruction of the Bjornings and an ambush attack upon Bjorn and his people. Fortunately, though, the party, through some clever thinking on their part and the judicious use of fire, was able to, number one, get Odoric to agree to basically trick the bandits, and two, to then escape and manage to head back up. Previously upon the adventures of Middle-earth, and then head back up to warn Bjorn. And so the party has been essentially in forced march status for a number of days, basically since leaving Stonyford all the way down to the bandit camp and then all the way back up. It's been probably 2.5, almost 3 days of just racing down and then back upwards, and so the party is exhausted, I think it's fair to say. Not everybody in real life, some of them, but definitely their characters are. And so as we ended our last adventure, our last session, the party was getting ready, had just basically warned Bjorn of what was happening and basically told him that this attack was imminent, and now are on their way, just about to leave to head on their way to this place which is known as the Gloomy Fold, a place where they believe they can launch an ambush upon these bandits. Now, Bjorn and his people, it's going to take a little while for Bjorn and his people to get there, so part of what they need to be able to do, the party, is essentially slow the bandits down, stop them there for long enough that Bjorn and his people can kind of show up. Think, two towers look to me in the east when the sun rises, right? That sort of thing. So that needs to happen. And the party feels totally capable of doing this. I mean, there's 4 of them plus Lillimon and Stone versus, 50 bandits. So I'm sure that they'll be totally capable of doing that. But at least they do have the element of surprise, so to speak. And so as we begin our journey, the party is literally, having just talked to Bjorn, is now standing outside of Bjorn's house. So they know Gloomy Fold is probably about maybe a half hour to the west. And you may remember that the group of outlaws was not far behind you, that you could actually see them in the distance. They were ing at a faster pace than you were able to, insofar as you're exhausted, and they were not. And so now it's up to the party in terms of what they want to do, if they want to head directly to the area and set up shop there. But again, according to everything they know, the outlaws are not far behind, so they don't have a lot of time to decide.
Well, there's no time to rest, I guess. This is it.
Yeah, that's good. Like covered in branches and leaves and everything. Sweat.
Have we been given the reed mace yet?
Yeah, get that reed mace.
Yeah, it was one of the last things Bjorn did.
Yes, they did give you the read.
I was actually looking for a bag. I can't find one.
But you take too long for the bag, and the reed mace crumbles in your finger.
I have a nitrile glove, but that's not the
Yeah,
same
right.
thing, really. Yeah.
All right. I want to leave Stone here. I think he's more exhausted from the journey than I am, and I don't want to risk him not being in top form at the battle and being hurt.
Yeah, Inge looks at
He nuzzles your
Little
hand.
Man and
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
I thought there was something weird going on in my house. I can't see Greg's face, and I hear what is this bug in my room?
A very good sad dog.
Thank you. I have many sad dogs I had in my life.
I think it would be best if Lilliman also stays behind.
He
The
kind of
battlefield is
I was waiting.
he sort of nuzzles sort of your hand as well. As you know, by the way, Stone and Lillimon, of course, have become fairly fast friends as the only 2 animals as such, non-human animals, or I should say, non-mortal animals, non-living creature animals in the party. I'm not saying it right. You know what I mean. Not people that talk. So they.
Dogs are better people than people.
That's true. That's true. So they are standing next to each other, and neither Lillimon, Inga, nor Stone River seem very pleased at all with any of this. They're sort of like, you can tell that they very much want to go with you.
River just looks at Stone and scratches behind his ears and says, "Stay here and guard Lillimon and rest. Okay? You're the best dog.
He wags his tail.
River looks at Tawny Bear in a kind of exhausted and kind of almost helpless way, and says, "Are you doing this, Tawny?"
What choice do we have?
No good ones.
You could try and heal, but I think we're gonna need every good man, woman, and child to defend this place. I know it's asking a lot of you, Tony, but I mean, this is your home, or was. Thank you.
Sorry.
More of
Just a sarcastic
Bye,
clap.
I'm so sorry.
My ego's reached that point where I inquire, just comes on the floor like a 7-year-old.
but only one.
Oh, man.
That's it.
What I know.
It's not even a slow clap. It's just that's all you get.
Right. Single clap. All right.
Inge starts to unload the pony and packs her things.
Okay.
Tawny pulls out his pipe, which is the stem is actually cracked in half, and he just starts pulling some of the reed mace out and stuffing it into the bowl of the pipe and just hands it off to whoever's next.
River takes some, and I mean, is it chewable? Is it a kind of like?
No, you powder it and smoke it.
And smoke it. All right. Yeah. She'll take it in whatever form is appropriate. Do we have a sense of strategy at all? Are we just gonna go in swinging?
I'm not sure how involved with that we are. I think Bayon maybe is in charge of all of that stuff. I think we just stand where he puts us and fight.
But it's going to take him a while. It's going to take him some time to assemble everyone. I think we're meant to be a four guard. I think we're meant to go in.
Oh, good. Yeah. Send in the fresh guys first.
Yeah. I don't know.
Imagine it's like a puff puff pass situation with the reed mace right now. There you go.
I wonder. I've never taken part in anything like this before, and I think no, nothing. Never mind. Pass me that reed mace.
Inger, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Just need to find a place to store all my stuff and gonna make sure Little Man is taken care of.
And by the way, I should mention that you can see that there is obviously the whole area around this is live with activity. There are horses that went running off, galloping off to presumably warn Bjorn. But even within the sort of the fixture, there's all of these animals that are moving around, horses that are running, that are, trotting past you. You hear Bjorn occasionally shouting commands and then occasionally growling them. Of course, you don't see him at the moment, but you wonder a little bit because sometimes it sounds very bear-like, some of these commands, as opposed to human-like. And so the whole place looks as if it's sort of being prepared for war. There's a couple of Bjornings as well that are around and kind of occupied doing various things, but it does seem as if there's not a whole lot of extra people that are there to sort of slow them down at the moment, slow the outlaws down, except for you folks. Although now that they've been warned, Tani, you know that the Bjornings are able to kind of muster pretty quickly under the circumstances, but not instantaneously. So,
what is with the captured things with the cameras? Everything is off-centered.
Yeah, I'm fixing that right now.
Okay.
There it is. It's now fixed.
2
seconds later, it would have been fixed, and you wouldn't even have known.
Technically speaking, does Reed Mace actually temporarily remove our levels of exhaustion, or does it do something else?
I think so. It just says that you can go for 3 days without sleep. But
Yeah.
once it's gone, once it wears off, you are out.
Yeah, so what I would say, the way that we would mechanically handle it is, right now, Inga does not have exhaustion, but everybody else has 2 levels of exhaustion. So what I would say is that the use of the Reed Mace will allow you to basically shrug off 1 level of exhaustion, but it's temporary. So basically, it's going to last you about a little more than a half hour. I mean, unless you were to continue to smoke it, which I would advise you not to do in the middle of combat. So about a little bit more than an hour. So what that means essentially is you can get to the battle, and you might in the battle be able to get a couple of rounds. And in fact, I'll tell you the exact number of rounds when you get there, where it won't affect you, but then the exhaustion will set back in. So it's not a permanent solution, but it'll help a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Given that, are you folks heading off to the Gloomy Fold?
I don't think there's much else left to do in this. Everyone's having second thoughts.
No second thoughts.
Let's go then.
Everything okay, Ribbon?
No. I need to tell you all something, and I don't know how.
Now might be the only chance you get.
Right. I may very well die during this battle. We all might, obviously. It's what happens in battles, but there's a doom on me.
What now?
There's a doom on me. There was a prophecy that wasn't very specific because prophecies never are really, but I'm doomed to die. And I don't know when, and I don't know how. Obviously, everyone is, but I think I'm supposed to go relatively soon, and all I want is to have it mean something and to have done something worthwhile beforehand. And the thought that I might have died or lost any of you before this battle, when the last you saw of me was the role I was playing in that terrible place with those terrible people, was dreadful. So in some ways, I'm grateful that we are now going into honest battle against evil men, so that I can redeem some part of that. And I just want to say it's been an honor to be traveling with you and doing good with you. And if this is the last time that I get to walk and fight alongside you, it will have been enough, and I hope you remember me fondly. That's all.
Robot looks very awkward.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to bring this up now. It's not really a thing one wants to share with one's friends, but the thought of I don't want you, if I die, and I don't want you to feel like, you know, it was going to happen. It was just going to happen. And if it's no reflection on any of you, obviously. It's just a doom.
Robot looks at Inga like, you should say something.
I don't believe
Words.
in things like this. I mean, death can come for any of us at any time, but you have us to keep your back. I believe you will be fine. I will make sure you will be fine.
If you...
And then she like claps her on the back way harder than appropriate.
Oh, like,
Thank you, Inga. Thank you.
Robot comes in a lot more morbid angle. If you die, is there any way you'd like to be buried? Or...
Inga just like looks at him very grim.
Actually, it's a very good question. If
like
you
by
could,
a river or something?
if
I just
you
leave.
could,
Bye.
if you could take my body to my kin and and take care of Stone, that's all really. I think that just yeah. I won't ask any of you to write songs about me,
Good, because I'm terrible at it.
but yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to say before we head off?
Would be a bad song. I can't write songs. I don't really like music.
What? All this time I've been singing? Have I just been annoying you, Babar?
No. I like your songs.
Oh, that's awfully kind.
I'm not very good with words.
I can attest to that.
I'll be there on the battlefield with you.
Thank you.
Tawny's more of the poet.
Not
Tom.
today. And he just walks.
all right. So,
Why isn't it?
all right. So, assuming that you all follow, it takes about, as I said, about a half hour, and I'm going to bring you over to this map. Now, the people that you're about to see on the map are not there yet, but this is the order that they're going to be coming in, just so you know. So don't immediately panic. Panic later, but don't panic right now. Okay. So this is the Gloomy Fold, so called because the area down below is a very stony, perhaps in ancient days it was a riverbed which is now run dry, but a pretty strong river because it's a fairly deep depression in the earth in which people are able to go through. There is grass sort of around it leading up to it, and it's gloomy in part also because the peculiar orientation of the land is such that there always seems to be kind of a mist or a fog hanging around near the edges. It is one of the reasons that people try to stay away from there, but it also happens to be one of the reasons why it's real useful if you want to, let's say, ambush a group of people that are coming in. And you know, as you're all looking at this together, now that I brought you over there, that these, if Odoric did his job, they're going to be coming from down here, from the south. And so you're actually able to position yourselves where you like, but assuming, again, everything calculates in your mind and they were going at the same rate of speed, you don't have more than just a few minutes, basically, to be able to position yourselves as you like. So the question is, how do you want to position your characters around them?
Yeah.
Take the. Is there high? Is there? At the risk of sounding a bit like Anakin, is there high ground around here that
Yes.
we can?
Yes, all the
like these
green
ones
areas
here?
that you see
Green.
are sort of high ground areas around them. In fact, about 15 feet up, fairly significant height above the area down below. Now, you can see there's sort of graded, what looks like kind of graded stone or like slopes, and they basically are about 5-foot intervals or so. So, like, going up here, for example, like it would be 5 feet to get to that little sort of jutting area, then another 5 feet, then another 5 feet.
Gosh.
But these areas are not really ledges. There's a lot of sort of crushed stone and gravel, so you would not really be able to get much purchase. You could probably scramble down it without falling, but you couldn't, like, set up shop there because it just would not be stable enough. The areas up here, however, are pretty good.
Scenario.
I'm sorry, say again.
It's a black gate scenario.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
So is this, and we're coming from higher ground?
Correct.
right?
Yeah, you are. Now, you could come however you want. You could theoretically, like, position yourself down here if you wanted, like, on the ground. But you could easily
Sorry,
be
could you
above.
point that out again?
Sure. You could come this way. You couldn't come from the south because you'd run into them, but you could come.
Right.
You could probably come this way. And you could. I love how immediately everybody surrounds the area, which is what I was thinking was going to happen anyway. You can also do that. There are a couple of rocks that you can see up here. These boulders are probably about 3 to 5 feet in height, so you could probably position yourself behind them if you wished. That's possible as well. And then the boulders on the ground down here are, again, another sort of 3 to 5 feet. Anywhere around the edges, especially when you get onto this area, would be considered rough terrain. Once you get out into this area, it's pretty, there's a little bit of gravel, but it's not too slippery. You could probably that would just be like normal ground level for that.
Is Inga the only archer?
No, robot too.
Robar too.
I am an archer. Yes.
So would it make sense to kind of set up closer, close to the entrance, and if we're on higher ground, shoot down at them in a kind of bottleneck
Okay,
here?
the bottleneck. This place. Yeah, down here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking like hiding behind this rock, but like
Yeah.
I guess I could just like lay down on the ground and they wouldn't see us.
Yeah, snipe them. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm going to resize you guys so that we're
I
Are
have,
we not like?
Yeah.
10 times the
size.
size. Yeah, let's
Because we're closer and they're further away. Right?
I
Also,
have forgotten how to bring my token on.
Go
Oh no,
on.
I got it.
Wow.
Aha! Yes. Okay. That's not actually. Wait, is it? Did I do it? Did I bring my token?
let's see. I don't see it
Go
yet.
Join
Yeah, okay.
journal, grab your name, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Arf, in
Yeah.
like retroactively, is it okay if Inge got like extra arrows back at Beyond's house?
Yes, I think you'd be able to find those with ease. Yes.
So she bought How many? Like, I don't know how heavy arrows actually
Well,
are.
it also depends on how many you want to. I mean, there's only so many that you can carry. So.
Like she left all her like camping and like crafting equipment behind because she doesn't have her point reserves.
Right. I would say probably you could carry somewhere between 15 and 20 in a quiver. Once you get beyond that, it's a little dicey. You could probably...
because I automatically start out with 20, I think.
Oh, well, you're not... Yeah, you can't get way more. The problem is not... The problem is fitting it into a quiver, actually, more than anything else.
You can carry 2 quivers. Like, I know that's a thing.
That's true. Well, if you want to carry 2 quivers, I would allow you to do that if you wanted. Okay. You probably could. I will say, though, for balance, you would need to be able to lower one of those quivers to the ground when you're using the other one. Quivers with that many arrows are kind of heavy. So you can lower them to the ground if you like. I'm just talking about balance for shooting.
Yeah, okay, no, that she just, like, restocked to 20, I guess.
Okay.
I'm just, for some reason, incapable of bringing my token on. When I manage the disc, I can't put it on the...
okay, let me go do that then.
Sorry.
Or the name.
On both. Oh wait, I'm taking the whole name now. Let's see. Can I do that?
Okay.
There we go.
There you are.
Thank you.
When I tried grabbing the icon and moving it over, it didn't work. And as soon as I got the name and moved, then it was fine.
Awesome.
Okay, I've just resized you, so you're good.
Great. Okay, so looking at this, so I'm trying to figure out how much of this could be, assessed on arrival and stuff. If we're coming from the north and surveying this area, we can see that they're coming up from the south, right?
Yes. I mean, that's the way that Odoric would be leading them,
right.
Rather than going around. Yes, unless something went wrong, which could be the case. But assuming that he's on track, then yes.
Okay. Then, what seems like it would be the best course of action would be to have Inga and Rabar hiding on higher ground behind these rocks and shooting arrows down into them, and River looks at Tawny. Perhaps you'd rather be on your own, Tawny?
I feel that would be best, yes.
In which case I would suggest that you actually go down into the fold, and perhaps be prepared to meet them at that bottleneck. Does that make sense to you?
No, that's a bad idea, I think. We should all hide and only come out after they showed up.
I think it might be... Well...
Yeah, I have an idea, actually. Like, how about Tawny hides in one of the arms, like either here or here, and as soon as, like, the soldiers come around, like, he steps out to, like, gain their attention, basically. That could work. To, like, make sure they keep walking into place so that we can probably ambush them, I guess.
We definitely want them to be trapped in the fold. So we definitely want them to have come some ways in before and try. I wonder actually then if it might make more sense to that entrance to the fold at the south is quite narrow. Is there some way of blocking it behind them?
Well, the thing is that this area, these are 5-foot squares. So at its narrowest point, it's about 15 to 20 feet wide. So that would be a lot. That'd be a fair bit. One thing I wanted to mention.
When you said 5 foot before, I imagined something different. 5-foot squares, right?
Yeah, 5-foot squares. One thing I want to mention, by the way, about the area around you is, and this may help you as well, but just sort of letting you know, getting up and down these slopes is going to take essentially a double move, a full turn of movement, because of the difficulty of the rocks and the gravel. So I'm letting you know that one way or the other. If for some reason you needed to get down there or have them come back or whatever the case may be, that's what's going to be required. You could theoretically string ropes so that you could, slide down the rope if you needed to quickly, but then of course that would make it accessible for them to do the same thing to climb up to you. So I'm just letting you know that if you need to get off this area, it's going to be, unless you went all the way around, which would take frankly longer than you'd have in a combat.
No, right.
Yeah, so.
What about jumping? Like on an enemy?
15-foot jump. You know, if you jump onto an enemy. Oh, and also if
I
you're
don't
jumping
know
onto
how
an enemy.
much 15 feet are. Like, remember metrics.
So typically, I mean, we're
Imagine 2 tall men on top of each other.
Yeah, Inga could jump that.
Oh, I will.
Like, I mean, it's like, you know, like, was it like straightforward? Like,
well, it's
I'm
and
just thinking of the scene in like where they have the battle at Helm's Deep and like
Toss me.
Aragorn throws Gimli like on the bridge and he just like bam like
yes.
goes down. On
Aragorn's doing by the way, is a feat of strength beyond all known capacities, since he's also tossing them in full armor and weapons.
Yeah, and Legolas like pulls them up, and his arm does that weird thing when he pulls them up, and it's like,
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's a little. So the answer to that is you can definitely try to make that jump. Now remember, you're going to be jumping out as well as down, so you would need it'll be a heroic leap, and you'll need to make sure that you're doing it in a spot where they're close. Like, for example, Inga, where you are right now, you can see if that guy, who's not there yet, but if that guy was there, that's 5, 10, 15. So that's 20 feet out from the closest point, plus down. So you're talking about if you were coming from here and going straight across. So that's a big jump. Again, you can certainly do it. It's certainly possible to do. But I'm just letting you know that it is possible, but it will definitely take. It'll be a little risky.
Okay. Tawny, I think of all of us, you're the one who has the most experience fighting large numbers of people. And do you have insight or advice on how we should proceed here?
Nothing pleasant.
We're not here to have a picnic.
In the distance, you begin to hear, by the way, sounds of shouting, perhaps, and like tramping in the far distance, but beginning to get louder.
No picnics. No prisoners. You kill everything that gets within range of you. Everything.
Inga looks like visibly startled and just starts moving to like her spot.
And Tawny moves down here.
We still Volter. It's going to be a race to see which one of us can get to him first.
River,
If we do see him, I think it would be best to take him out. If we could cut off the head, you know?
I suspect Bjorn would quite like to have words with him one way or another, but
Can like injure him enough to make sure he doesn't walk anymore.
River just looks at Tawny throughout this and looks heartbroken, and just says to him, "Tawny, she just walks up to him and puts a hand on his arm and says, "Tawny, I would stand by your side throughout this if you would have me there."
I would have all of you anywhere but. Stay away from me.
All right, then. Do you want to be the? Do you want to meet them first?
Yes.
All right. I still think that Robar and Inga should probably start up a slightly higher ground and just get some rounds off of firing arrows at them.
We should let them pass and then fall into their backs. Don't let them know that we are there until
I
they
agree.
past us.
Once they're in the
then we
canyon.
shoot them and then we jump down.
I agree, exactly.
Yeah.
Just don't shoot at them until they come in, but maybe start with that and then move in. I think I'm going to put myself in position down there first because I'm no use with ranged weapons. So I'll just once you start shooting at them and draw their attention backwards, I'll attack from the front if I can, and try to keep my distance from Tawny.
Donnie has walked down to where he is and is sitting on this rock.
Okay.
Basically, looking very much like this.
Okay.
River is going to put herself like semi-hidden, or she's gonna try and hide herself.
Whereabouts?
I'm trying to decide that because I'm going on where the map is basically. So if Tawny is there, I want to put her on this side, but I also want it I want her to be hidden behind rocks.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. To do that, though, I mean, you would have to do that to the right side of that map, or you'd have to go farther up, because where you are, the only way to get hidden there is if you bury yourself in gravel,
Okay,
which would
gotcha.
be funny, but I don't know.
Okay, I'll put her over. Can't decide.
I
Over
think my internet's beginning to go south.
No, don't do it.
No.
Okay, no. I'm gonna put her down over here.
Okay. And then so Robar and Inga, where are you guys? Are you guys like where you have yourselves positioned, or?
Oh,
I think,
basically, yes.
yeah, I think so. I'll be.
No, I've changed my mind. Sorry, I'm putting myself back over here. Okay. There.
Okay, go ahead.
And like, yeah, and like Inga is basically like laying low to make sure that they don't like see her.
Yeah, I want to be kind of
already.
lying down opposite Inga so we can like signal when we want to attack and that kind of thing.
Got it. Okay. All right. As you position yourselves, it's a very eerie moment for all of you. As you are all positioned, you see Tawny with his head bent. River, of course, is behind the rock, sort of crouched down, and you can look over and see Tawny looking as if he might have just fallen asleep almost, lying on with holding his staff in front of him. Robar, you can see Inga positioned. Her eyes gleam brightly in readiness. And for your part, Inga, you can see Robar, his cloak kind of over his head. If you sort of blinked a little bit and kind of looked in a different direction, you'd almost feel as if he had just melted into the landscape as he watches. And the sounds, for a moment, seem to cease entirely. There's a moment as if the world takes a deep breath before the plunge. And then the noises come again. You hear the sound of shouting. There might be some laughter, perhaps. You hear some rough kind of back and forth. No, nothing specific yet. And after a minute or two, you can actually see a group of men hurrying along, probably a good maybe 2 minutes away as they kind of hurry up the slope. You actually do not see Walter, but you do see Oderic. Oderic is in front and is kind of walking forward. You see his eyes kind of nervously scan left and right as he's kind of looking around up and over. But obviously he hasn't noticed you unless you want to wave at him. But, he hasn't noticed you.
That is the plan.
Right. So otherwise, he is positioned where he is as he walks up. As you both look at them, Robar and Inga, you are the ones to see them first. Your hearts kind of sink because these men do not look tired in the way that you are. They look as if they are ready for action. There are, as I said, about a good 55 or so of them, so there's a good number that are tramping up. And as they get close to your spot, you can see that they are following Oderic. A couple of them yelling at him, "Hurry it up, boy! I wish to dine on bear flesh." And they all kind of clap each other on the back as they're going. These people are not worried about stealth. Still no sign of Walter. They then draw about even with you. Now, I'm going to ask both Inga and Robar to make stealth checks, but they're very easy ones, fear not, as they go
Sad,
by.
and then we both rolled a 1.
Well, listen, I mean,
They're not that easy.
right. While I'm talking about this, some siren has started going off near me, so I'm just kind of like,
Oh god, 7.
okay,
Oh, 14.
that's survival.
Damn it!
You've proven that you definitely can survive.
I thought I was good at it.
That's it. Battle's over.
I made it. I win. Thank you all for coming. And goodbye.
Hey, even better.
Wow,
I did
okay.
really quietly though.
Terry, you sort of, Inga, you kind of as you're sort of moving around, you shift and you're like, oh, because you feel like you hear the arrows rattling in your quiver. But fortunately, the bandits are making far too much noise to be able to hear or pay any attention to you above them. Although you do notice, Robar, you notice this too, that a couple of them sort of look a little bit nervously up at the walls of the fold as they go into it, and you see a couple of them muttering to each other kind of nervously, maybe uncomfortably, like, what is this place? Kind of, it seems from a tactical point of view, this isn't a great place for them to be, but, they don't...
Not at all how I told them it was, either. It's
Say
like
again.
Surrounded by trees, woods everywhere.
Yeah, nope.
Canyon.
Nope, this is a canyon. This is a canyon. It is a fold. Okay, so you watch as they sort of walk past you, and then they catch sight of Tawny. And as the group comes in, and I'm placing, there's more here than I'm going to place. I'm not going to place 55 people, but
Tawny vanished.
they see Tawny, and then he vanishes.
Oh, come back. Oh god. Okay.
We will wait for a minute because I need
He's
to
back.
hear what Tawny's going to say. Oh, he's back. Okay. Is he back in the right spot?
So good at being
Yeah,
quiet.
I
He's
think
almost
I am.
invisible.
Nope.
Look
Tawny
at
has
Tawny,
become
I'm
Robar.
I'm Tawny now.
Everyone
Tawny
is
has got
different.
the one ring. Tawny has put the one ring on.
Bear with me just 1 second. I'll fix that. Let's see. Okay. The river should be the river. And Tawny should be Tawny. Everyone has a right to their own identity. And that's not what I wanted. There we go. And then this... God damn it. Here we go. All right. And there's Robar. I will renew my request to all of the wonderful people at Zoom. Please, dear God, do something so I can move around windows. Please, please. Okay. That is all fixed. Great. Cool. All right. So they catch sight of Tawny just sort of sitting on the edge of the boulder with his head, looking down, almost looking as if he's asleep, hands gripping his staff. And they slow to a halt. And Odoric sort of looks, River, you can see this kind of peering through the rocks and rubble. There's some lights. You can kind of see that Odoric doesn't say anything. And there is this sort of yell from from far behind. And you can actually see that more or less in the center of all of these men seems to be Valter. So Valter actually comes forward. He definitely is not leading. He is definitely not leading. He is definitely in the center of the rest of his men. And he kind of pushes himself forward to the front. And actually I'll place one more there to represent that. So he kind of pushes forward, more or less. And he looks and he says, "Well, look what we have here." And he looks back. He says, "Look, my friends. Apparently we've found the only one willing to fight for his people." And he says, "It's been a little while, Tawny. I didn't expect to see you again this soon. I don't suppose you have anything to say to us. If you wish, I could still use someone of your strength and character, you know. I am a forgiving man when the time comes to it." And he kind of just gazes and waits.
And Tawny sort of raises his head and just deep bags and
Yep.
dark circles, and just looks up and says, "What the hell took you so long? I knew we were meeting here when we got separated when the damn fire started.
And he
What the hell are you talking about? Someone here to fight for their people. Do you know how long..." I'm not asking for any level of forgiveness from you because I have done no ill to you. Now, if you still want to do what we came here to do, then let's do it. But do not dare to accuse me of a damned thing when I've done nothing wrong other than meeting you exactly where we said we were going to meet.
So he narrows his eyes and tilts his head. Make a deception check for me, please.
Robar's like, "I've got a shot."
I'm taking the shot.
10.
All right, let's see whether he buys this story.
I'm betting no.
But it was so good.
It was a very good
It was
story.
so
he narrows his eyes. He's like, "You're clever, Tani, but lying doesn't suit you. I've had plenty of men who've lied to me before." And he nods, and he sees the men behind them kind of raise their axes, and he says, "It's a shame, Tani, it really is. You're someone who turned away from the path you could have chosen. Instead, you're going to die here with all the rest of them, and you do it with a lie."
Then shut up and let's get to it.
Okay?
Oh boy.
And, okay. Initiative, let's do it.
Oh.
Everybody remember to touch yourselves before you roll initiative.
Can we get some banging combat?
Yeah, no, I'm on it right now. Let's see.
yeah.
About...
Where's initiative again?
No, not good enough, not good enough.
Ooh,
well,
21.
Wait, come on. Come on, Kevin McLeod, don't fail me.
God damn it, Kevin.
No, not good enough. Almost. Wait a second.
Are you rolling for every enemy separately?
No, I just as groups, which I've already done. I'm actually just trying to make sure that I got my volume working on the music. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Okay, here we go. Ah, there we
man, I
go.
should queue up guns and tips.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm taking this horse by the reins, being red coats ready with blood stains.
All right, here we go. Okay, can you guys hear that okay?
I can't hear anything.
I'm.
Music off, but,
Okay. Chat, let me know if you guys can hear this as well. All right. So, as I just realized that... Okay, good. I have that set. Good. Lovely. Okay. What have we got? Oh, I didn't put up the turn tracker up. Mistakes were made. All right.
what do we got?
I will delete all of these and I'll re-add you guys. Okay. Add turn. Add turn. Add turn and add turn. Okay. Now let's see. Robar's got a 14. Okay, Tani has got an 8.
Oh my god.
Inga's got a 21. And River's got a 19.
This is about to be a bring him down, Lambs.
Hey, chat, this would be a great opportunity to use inspiration.
Yes, that's true. Although, actually, and I have to say, we're going to have to double check because I did not have a chance. Okay, thanks, Mikey. I didn't, I just realized because I've been out west that I didn't redo the inspirations for this month because I didn't. So, we're going to have to, we'll have to, we'll improvise a little bit. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Okay.
Everything's fine here. How are you?
How are you? By the way, mechanically, you guys will be happy to know that under the circumstances, because of the positioning that you have, you will get the people who were on the outside. So basically, Robar and Inga, you folks will have advantage for 3 rounds of combat. Because of where you're positioned. Now, River, you will also have a round of advantage as well because of your positioning. Just 1 round because of where you are. I mean, unless you just stay there for rounds, but I'm assuming you're going to jump on an attack. And then Tani does not have advantage because of where he's positioned. All of you have 3 rounds during which the reed mace, because all of you smoked it, yeah? All of you had it? So all of you will have 3 rounds during which you will not be affected by the 2nd level of exhaustion. So that means that you'll only have 1 level of exhaustion, which means you'll only have disadvantage on ability checks. After that 3rd round of combat, though, your speed will be halved because of that 2nd level of exhaustion. So I'm just letting you know now that that's the situation that we find.
What about Inga?
Inga is not affected by this because Inga was not exhausted to begin with. So Inga just has the
So
advantage.
do I get a
that I mentioned.
bonus though for?
Yeah, you're even more healthy. No, you do not get a bonus. No, you do get a bonus.
Speed
It's called
bonus.
advantage for 3 rounds.
Aw, weak.
Let's see.
I
Did
think
you
it's
say
meant
weak?
From the region specifically, but yeah.
I'll tell you
No?
what's weak. All right. Let's see.
I would never dare.
Okay. Right. Okay. First up is Inga. You actually get to go first because you are so. This is your advantage because you're so unexhausted. As far as who does not need who's without inspiration, who's without inspiration. Remember, the month is reset, so I don't think anybody has inspiration to begin with, unless I'm wrong.
Nope, I don't have inspiration marks.
Okay. So nobody has inspiration at the moment. Cadix is the answer to that.
Also, I gotta take a bio break for once. I'm so stressed. I've been like stress drinking.
I'm likewise. Break before battle.
Okay. Do it quickly. I'll let Inga go actually as you guys are going. All right, Inga. What are you going to do? So
The guy who spoke to Tony, was it Walter?
That was
or
Walter.
Was it somebody else?
That was Walter.
Okay, cool.
You've been
Is he in
inspired by
range of my
Chaotix.
bow?
You've also got inspiration
Yay!
from Chaotix. Thank you,
Chaotix.
Chaotix.
Okay,
Is he
but
in
I
range of
still
your
have
bow?
advantage anyway, so I don't need to.
Right,
use
that's
that,
right. But you can hold on to it for later if you want. 35, 45. That's a little. You're actually a little more than that. Should be about 50 feet. The other thing is that it's also down, so you have to add more to that. I would say that you're about 55 range. You're a little bit at the end of your range, but you still do have range on it. Also, I know the windows are messed up. That's because of Tani's internet, I believe. So.
Okay, then I take the shot at Walter.
Okay.
Now I just have to remember how that works. What's this character sheet? Oh, okay, advantage does nothing.
Very consistent.
Yeah.
Let's
That's a
see.
hit.
That is a miss. So you shoot over his head, and he whips his head around like he doesn't know exactly where that came from, obviously. But he is a little bit, troubled by what it is that just happened. So those did roll. Good. Okay, so that was a miss. You're staying, however, in your
course.
position, I assume?
No, I'm not, because if anybody also noticed where the arrow came from, they're going to be
True.
checking there.
Where are you going to go then?
I am going to try to sneak up to here behind this rock.
Okay, you can do that. If you're going... Yeah, you can do that, I would say. Your speed is 25 normally?
Let me check. Yes.
Okay, if you're going to sneak, though, you're going to have to be able to... I would say that you're going to be a little bit slower than normal. You probably could get here if you're going to sneak. Normal movement, you could get there, but that's assuming you walk normally. Otherwise, like that. Yeah, you could do that. Okay.
Sneak check?
And say again?
Do I have to make a sneaking check?
No.
Okay.
Nope, you don't. You would have had to if you were moving normally, but not this way. Okay, that leads us to the river.
Oh, wait, so I can
That's
do
not
that? Then I want to do that instead.
You want to do that? Okay, then you do need to make a stealth check then.
Okay.
Be aware you might lose your advantage if this... Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see if they discover that. They discover
Well,
your
22, so...
No, you don't get to do the stealth at advantage unless you're using your inspiration from Chaotix. The
I
advantage
did
is
not
on
know
attacks.
that.
Yeah, the
I
advantage
did
is on
not know
attacks. That's
that.
up to you. You can
Yeah. Okay, no, then I stay there.
Okay. Yep. Sorry,
Okay,
not
I
trying to
did
be
not
that
know
guy,
that.
but
First,
I
same
thought
as
that was like for
first.
all rolls. for
no,
like
not
3
all rolls.
rounds.
No,
Okay.
attack rolls. Attack rolls.
Bleh. Okay.
Okay, not to mention the fact that you are not affected by exhaustion, but still, yeah, not affects that. Okay, River, you were up. Inga unfortunately missed Walter. That shot in River. So you were up. What do you want to do?
How far is River from Walter?
About 15, maybe 20 feet. He is right now just in front of this group of 4 warriors around him.
Is she able to close that distance in a turn and attack?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
She won't
and
be
this
able
is-
to leave when she gets there, though. I mean, you're gonna be like right up close and personal with all of him and his friends.
Right. Shit. And only Inga has fired at this point, right?
Correct. You
And
actually saw
upon-
the arrow just sort of hit off the ground after missing Walter over his shoulder.
Wow. Damn it. Okay. Okay. But she knows that Rabar is also going to get to shoot. And if she, okay, so I'm just trying to like translate the turns into how it actually happens in real time.
Okay.
So an arrow has just landed. She has the opportunity right now to attack, but not to retreat. And then,
Right.
does Walter have his weapon drawn?
Yes, he had his weapon drawn when he was sort of yelling back and forth with Tawny, actually.
Okay. And okay, he's probably pretty armored and stuff. I think the plan initially was attack with the arrows first, and then once people have kind of turned engaged that, then to attack. But there's exhaustion to consider, and the fact that she's only got like 3 rounds of less exhaustedness.
True.
Oh Christ.
This all sucks.
This all sucks so bad.
There are a lot of them.
There are so many. So how many of them are right up ahead, right with Walter?
They're about, the number you see there is about another 4, but in general there are a good 40 or 50. I just haven't placed them all, but there's
I thought there were 9 of them.
No.
Yeah.
There. As I said, I placed the. I tried to be. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Now the thing is, you also know that there's a bunch of reinforcements on the way, and that will be arriving soon. So
we want to be stalling them, right?
We're a harrying force,
That's
right?
it.
We're not. We
That's
don't have to get in there and fight them all.
right, you're
We're
not the you
Aragorn-
verse 50 go. Yeah. No,
Yeah, it's Aragorn at the end of the first movie. You know, he's trying to hold them off.
That's
for
it.
an-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who actually I think does basically take on 50 orcs and is like no problem
Yeah.
because he's Aragorn. But
Virginia Dane. Right. Okay. I'm just trying to envision this story-wise, and it seems like it wouldn't make sense for her to just rush out at this point.
okay.
Even though tactically, because of exhaustion, that seems like the thing that should happen. So at advantage, does that mean that he doesn't get to counterattack right away?
No, it means that you're. Well, he wouldn't get to counterattack till his turn anyway. But it means that you are attacking him, taking the higher of the 2 results. So, or if you're choosing to do so.
Right. Okay, no, it doesn't make sense for her to do. She's gonna wait.
Okay. Are you holding your action to a specific moment, or are you just gonna?
Right, I can do that. I think yes. I think she'll hold her action until she sees what Tawny does in particular.
Okay.
I think she'll hold her action until Rabar fires and until Tawny reacts.
And then give me an if then. If they do what, then you do what.
If she can basically use stealth to her advantage to kind of, like what she wants to do is kind of cut across a bunch of people if possible to attack, like, you know, attack one with one axe, attack another with another axe,
I see.
and kind of move her way down the line like that.
Got it.
And then like choose another position in which to kind of hide. So it would work better for her if there was already confusion and stuff.
Okay, got it.
So I think she's waiting to join a scrum more than she's looking to kind of attack outright first.
Okay, so then I think we'll wait until after Tawny for you to do that. Now, one quick note: if you do that, you could basically hold an action, or you could hold your entire turn. If you hold your turn, it basically means you drop below Tawny in the initiative order. So that becomes your new initiative. You could do that, or you could just hold this one action. Like, if the guy comes close, I will attack him with my axe, or something like that. Do you follow what I mean? So it's up to you how you want to do it.
Can I make that decision after Tawny has done?
No, I can't. Unfortunately, no. You have to decide. No.
No, I'll just hold action.
Okay. All right. Then the bad guys go. You'll be happy to know, or at least one of the bad guys go. Okay. So the warriors kind of smile wickedly, and you can see that they draw forth their hand axes. They have spears on their backs, but they all draw forward axes. And Walter, kind of, still looking over his shoulder, yells at the archers, "Look up to the sides there!" And he says to his men, "As for you, get that filth out of my sight. And he points at Tawny. And so the 4 basically, smiling wickedly, stride forward, Tawny, to engage you.
And Tawny just stands up.
Okay. All right. So let's zoom in a little bit here.
That's a good idea.
Is that token Volta, or does he have a different token? I'm not
He
sure.
doesn't have, he doesn't have I should get a different token.
You could probably put like a little. If you click on his token, you can put a little like.
yes,
mark
yes.
on him.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yep.
Okay.
That's a good call. Good call. Let's see. There we go.
Okay.
Ooh.
Boo.
The bad guy. Everyone's like, that guy, okay.
There's a lot of bad guys out here.
Yeah,
Where's that sketch of like the 2 like Nazi soldiers and like, are we the baddies?
Are we the
Yeah.
Mitchell and Webb look.
Mitchell and Webb.
Good.
We the bad guys.
We're the bad guys. Okay.
We've got skulls on our uniforms. Why do we have skulls? There's a guy like hands like stitching a skull scarf in the corner.
Okay. Let's see. 2 14s, an 8, and an 18, Tawny.
Every one of those hits. No, I'm not the 8.
I was
The
going to say,
8
what? I was like,
Right, sorry. His
Uh.
armor class is 12, so.
I was like, I don't think that's accurate. Okay. All right. Okay. So you take a total of 9 points of damage as all of those strike home. Just kind of slash as you see Tawny falling back, bleeding. And there is sort of this, there's this Walter River. You actually sort of glance down because you hear a chuckling, and you see Walter with a cruel smile, kind of looking as Tawny is just torn apart by these guys. And you see the other warriors start to surge forward, and as they're kind of moving forward. They don't seem to be fully engaged yet, like they're sort of waiting to see. Like, they obviously don't see these, like, Tawny as a threat, like, by itself. Although the arrow is adding to the confusion, so you can see some of the archers kind of looking now to the sides. But the overall force basically isn't moving very much except for the 4 that I just showed you. Okay, Robar, you were up. You just saw Tawny get torn up.
Oh boy. Yeah. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move. Shoot at Volta.
Okay.
In the back of the head, sort of, as he watches Tawny go. 17.
That's a hit.
Yes!
9 points of damage.
People really do not like Walter.
I
They're
hate him
not,
so
They are
much.
not fans.
He's the worst.
Okay, as soon as that arrow hits, that's when River comes out to attack Walter as well.
Okay, so as you get hit, or as he gets hit, he kind of goes forward. He was already kind of looking in the other direction, and now you see the archers and everyone's starting to mill about. Now there's like because they now see that that's no joke. Okay, so now you can leap forward if you wish, River, and leap relatively speaking. So he's actually, let me position him. He's really pretty much there, so you can get to about here. That's yep. Okay, you come. So in comes the River. So you're coming in with the 2 axes. We got a war cry going on. We got a what? How does she look as she's doing this?
So, assuming she actually found some stores of woad, she looks pretty fierce in that she's got her hair is kind of back from her, but kind of teased and wild. And she's got this dark blue line across her eyes, and her mouth is painted red. Her mouth is painted blue as well, and she just looks like this otherworldly water demon as she is leaping forward and moving with these axes.
It is an impressive sight. Go ahead and make your attack on him. He's not happy about it. Okay. Sorry, I'm also trying to find my... Damn it, I can't find it. Really, Roll20 needs to work on their search for songs. Anyway, I'll worry about that later. Okay. So let's see. We've got a 16 on one attack, and then a 17 on the other. Both are
This is
hits.
still. Sorry.
Both are hits.
And roll for damage. Is that the thing?
He's got this corselet of mail that he's wearing, but his shield is actually not up in front of him because he's turned around to where he was just hit by arrows. So.
And she is looking to. Oh, so.
Just click the word hand axe.
Where's damn? I did click hand axe to attack. Oh shit! All right, I rolled. I put hand axe for the attack. Was that what I was supposed to do, or was I supposed to attack something differently?
I think you just did the attack with the hand axe. That's fine.
Okay.
So now you're doing the damage, of course, for each.
Oh, okay. Sorry, because it highlights all of it at once. It's been so long since we fought. Okay, so 1d6 slashing, 1d6 slashing.
No, that's.
Those were
Nope.
There you just attacked again.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, sorry. So I have to do the d6 separately.
Now you do the. Well, there should be a damage thing under the.
unless it's doing the same thing as TikToks, in which case.
Oh.
That's what I was wondering, because like I did hand axe first, but it does when I go over it light up the whole line of attack and damage.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
Where are you clicking on hand axe?
So when I did the attack, I was clicking on the left.
On your character sheet?
On my character sheet, yeah.
Okay, in the chat scroll where you rolled your 16 and your 17,
Yeah.
it says hand axe at the bottom of that.
Oh god. Okay, right. And I just put hand axe
Just click the word
there, and
hand
that's roll the
axe.
damage. Okay. Cool. I'll do it from the ones that I actually did.
Yep, there we go.
All right.
All right.
Okay. So 7 points of damage. So as Inga's arrow strikes home, River leaps forward fiercely, crying out. Right, strikes, slashes him in the basically in the side because he's not looking in that direction, and he kind of staggers back. And he, kind of staggers back, looking at you, and you see his eyes are wide as he sees what he thinks is the river, but the river as he's never seen her before, in front of him, and the men around sort of mill about, everyone now drawing swords, beginning to shout and yell at different places as well. Okay, so that was her action. That was Robar. Okay, now Valter gets to go, and let's see, he's about to make attack. And actually he wasn't okay, he wasn't able to do that. Good. So he has his longsword, and he says, as he kind of looks at you angrily, you can see sort of blood, and he says, "They call me Valter the Bloody for a reason. Soon it'll be stained in yours as much as mine." And he makes 2 strikes with his longsword. You can actually see that his longsword is kind of basically notched and ugly from many battles. It definitely looks as if it has not been sharpened and honed. It's dull for extra pain, is what it looks like.
It's just unsanitary. It's
Yes.
just-
So let's see. We get a 22, and then a 12.
The 22 hits. This is versus armor class, right?
Right.
Yeah, 22 hits.
Okay. The 22 he actually strikes directly at your hand axe. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please. And your dexterity saving throw, remember, is going to be at disadvantage because of the exhaustion.
Right. Is that just clicking on dexterity?
Yeah, there should be a saving throw listed on the sheet.
You've got strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence. It's just to the right of that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, saving throws. There we go. Whee!
Okay, your axe is basically hit from your hand. So, and what he does is he actually brings them across both. So he actually takes his entire turn, like, and disarms you completely. And so you have both axes sort of at your feet, and he sort of grins at you and says, "Kind of have to hold on to the handles, dear." And then kind of swings, spins his swords kind of happily, and then basically, let's see, is he going to stay there? Yeah, I think he is. He's going to slide to his left, and you have this moment. He slides to his left, River, and you see behind him just this small sea of bandits just kind of coming up towards you, basically, towards the group. Again, this moment is basically like this is, you were describing this before, Will, in the fight at the end of the Fellowship of the Ring, where Aragorn is like holding up the sword, and there's just a bunch of orcs charging towards him, when he's on the hill at Amon Hen, and he's like, that's basically what you see in slow-mo, more or less. Okay. And he's going to stay where he is. Tawny, it is your turn.
Well, Tawny is slathered in his own blood.
Yep.
And between the exhaustion and the sudden endorphin rush of having basically 3/4 of his life torn away.
Yep.
And Reed Mace, his expression just sort of snaps, and there's just like this quivering edge to his eyelids, and he just the staff comes up and he just lashes out at the closest guy, which I guess would be the guy immediately to his this side here. So
Okay.
to the left of him now. So he's going to strike out with his quarter staff, and he probably ain't going to hit.
Oh,
That is a miss. Yep, that's a miss. So you do strike out, but they see sort of like the rage. The guy seems a little troubled by the ferocity of your attack, I think might be a way to describe it, and kind of takes a step back, almost sort of in shock, you might say. Okay, are you going to try to move anywhere? Like, you could try to disengage 5 feet if you want.
No, I think what's probably going to happen is, upon seeing that, trying to strike out and missing, Tawny's just as the arc is finishing, and he's like almost like looking at the staff like, why have you betrayed me?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. And he just lets go of it, and just the staff just flies off. And when he turns back, just it's like suddenly just claws at his, and he is just gone.
Okay.
All right, screw this playing with toys. He is feral. He's gone.
All right. Okay. The archers
This
go.
scares them so much they run away.
They're all frightened. The entire group leaves. Unfortunately, that does not happen. But okay. Let me get that there. Okay. The Outlaw Archers, to answer your question, by the way, Zero, there are some mechanical differences, but they tend to not be oriented as much in combat. The mechanical differences tend to come out more in the journey rules, in the audience rules, in the corruption rules, but those are things that are sort of outside of the combat situation, which I can talk more about, but unfortunately not at the moment because the archers go. So, the archers look up, and you can see there's a group of them kind of looking around, and there's a good number of them, by the way, a good 20 archers probably, and 5 or 10 of them actually lift their bows in the air and kind of loose arrows, and you, Robar, and you, Inga, are sort of like, wait, what? But it's very clear that they weren't aiming at you. It seems more like they're just firing up in the general direction, like, if anyone's moving, there's basically a rainstorm of arrows. So, not quite that many, obviously, but I mean, there's a set of arrows coming down, and you can tell they're kind of firing blind, essentially. However, there are some which can see exactly what's happening, and a couple draw and fire away at River, these two in front. So let's see.
Oh, fuck.
That's you, because remember I told you that he slid out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. 17 and 8.
The 17 hits.
Ow. Does 6 points of damage as it strikes you in the left shoulder, and you kind of stagger back. Sure, my pleasure. As it sort of strikes you and you stagger back a step, Walter throws back his head and laughs, and he shouts out, "All right, my brothers, let's bring down these lapdogs and servants and kill them the way animals like the animals they are." And you hear this sort of great shout, and the bandits all kind of surge forward. And then there is again that moment I talked about of sort of a hovering moment of almost silence, almost peace in the middle of the storm. And then you see, actually you feel more than see, Inga running past you. You hear what sounds like sort of running feet. And leaping down into the fold, you see Bjornings, large men carrying axes, some cases staves, jumping down, 10 or 15 of them, jumping down into, like attacking from the side. The bandits sort of fall over, they strike back. So now it's just a straight up, it's just insanity. Everyone is just a huge battle now that is joined within the fold. Walter seems to disappear momentarily. I'm not taking him away completely, but he vanishes from right in front of you. It's not clear as to why, River, but there's like a bunch of bandits pushing forward towards you, like a surge almost of water of men and, fighters and warriors that are fighting back and forth with each other. Okay, so that brings us up to the top. You guys still have these people that are on you, but now the rest of the bandits are engaged with the Bjornings. And the bandits still significantly outnumber the Bjornings, but quite frankly, they're Bjornings, and when they get angry, they're kind of worth a couple of bandits on their own, so that there is a little bit more equivalency there. Inga, you're up.
Hey, okay, so
And River, you're on deck.
Inga moves up here so that she can get a line of sight on Walter again.
Okay.
Shoots at him again. And I hope this time it hits.
Go, Inga, go.
21.
Hit.
Yes, good.
There we go. There's my battle sounds. I'm like, where are my battle sounds? There's my battle sound.
Oh god, 4 damage.
Okay. All right. So that does strike him.
Also, like earlier, I noticed that my armor class has been wrong the entirety of this game, and I just fixed that just in case you like.
It was lower or higher?
It was way too low.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, now I
Yeah.
know. That's good to know. Okay. So, and you're staying now. You just sort of, peeked around and took that shot. Are you going to stay where you are? Because you now see that there are archers kind of looking up in that direction.
Yeah, no, she's like basically like back to the rock again, like out of there, just like turning around basically.
Got
and
it.
Leaning against the rock again.
Okay.
Taking
All right.
cover basically.
So you're going to sneak past there. Okay, and you have one more round of that advantage. Okay. River, you were up. Your advantage, remember, is now gone. You do have 2 more rounds before your exhaustion, the second level, kicks in,
Right.
just so you know. Walter at the moment is not really visible. You'd have to sneak around to see where he actually is. Because he seems to have kind of, as I say, there's a whole surge of people that are kind of coming forward. So you'll have to.
No, what she
them.
wants to do right now is grab her axes again. Is that something that's going to take the whole turn, or is it?
She can pick up her axes. Given the fact that she's also kind of in combat with the other people that are going forward, she probably is just going to have to stay where she is, though, unless she could move, but she can't attack the same turn. So,
No, her goal right now is to get her axes and find a better position from which to attack.
she can do that.
Okay, so she's going to. So where are the Bjornings coming from?
They were all coming from the east, and so they're all basically. I don't want to place all of them right now, although I guess
Right.
I could. But they're basically right around here. So
Okay.
there's a number that are dropping down there, and what I want you all to imagine is that the 15 of them are fighting the 45 or so that are not fighting you. These ones here
Right.
are the ones that are engaged with you specifically, but there's a lot more in the entire fold.
Yeah, okay, she's gonna grab her axes and try to position herself to like what does the situation around Tawny look like right now?
Pretty bad. You see that Tawny basically threw his staff away, and you see that his face looks like just enraged and kind of. But there's 4 guys around him, and Tawny looks like he's taken a lot of damage. So.
Tren, has Tawny told River that he fought with any weapon besides a staff? Was that always his weapon?
He doesn't talk about fighting.
Okay, I thought like we talked about the background they'd had when she was staying with him and stuff, and that he would have talked about having left his battle days behind and things like that.
Yeah, possibly a bit. He probably didn't go into too tremendous amount of detail.
Okay.
But it probably would have been enough that she would know that during the Battle of the 5 Armies that he was just hand to hand, just ripping and clawing and biting and just.
Right. Okay. Cool. Is his staff actually like visible that she could
Nope.
grab it as well as? Okay. No.
Nope, he threw it the other way.
He threw it the other way. Great. Okay, she's going to gather her axes and try to kind of flank some of the people around him.
Okay.
But aware of where like the arrows are coming from, so I think she's gonna try and get like here, if that's feasible.
Yes, I'd say that's feasible. Do you want to? Okay, yes, you could definitely do that. Yep, that's fine. Yep.
Yeah. So she wants to do that, and then like
yeah, that's fine. You could do that. Yep.
yeah. And the idea here is to like wait for an opportune moment to attack. So if she can slightly hide herself until she can attack, then that would be what her option.
I don't know that she's going to be able to slightly hide herself. I mean, they're not really paying attention to you specifically, but they definitely are. You know, the guy who's looking at Tawny is aware that someone just showed up, like, behind him or next to him, you know, because he's basically looking over. So, I mean, you can definitely make yourself not as, you know, you don't have to shout at him, but but he's not.
She's trying to be sneaky.
I got it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. In fact, you know what? Make a stealth check for me then. Okay. You're going to be doing this at disadvantage though, because you still have an A level of exhaustion even with the benefit. So. All right, let's see. That is pretty good. Yeah, okay. They do not notice you at all as you're doing that. So that's fine. All right, you're able to move into position, and that's good because they now attack. So they are going to attack Tawny, who's in front of them. Let's see. Oh my goodness. So 11, 10, 11, and then 14.
14 hits.
Okay. Boy. Overconfidence is what they have. Okay. They do 2 points of damage.
Hey.
So, so you are still standing. You're still standing. And they are pretty obviously annoyed that they didn't do more there, because they would have thought that they would have done more. But they do seem to be taken aback by your ferocity, as I mentioned before, and that does seem to have an effect on them in some ways. You can see the warriors. You actually hear, Inga, you hear this sort of screaming, and you kind of peek out to see some Bjorning being sort of dragged down after having been, looks like his chest has been hit by a spear, and he falls. You also see a number of bandits that are kind of, fighting. It's as they say, it's all sword and knife work down there, as Legolas says. All right, that leads us to Robar. Robar, there's a lot of crap going on.
Yeah. Do I have a shot on old Sneaky McGee down
Maybe, but it's yes. I would say that you do because you're still elevated above them, but it's becoming hard to see him. There's so many people that are around him. But yes,
I gotta call out to him. Boulder, you coward! I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay.
It's just a man standing on top of the hill shooting down.
Fight hand to hand like shoo!
Okay.
Oh.
Fight like a sniper. Okay.
But as you, sorry, go ahead.
You're still at advantage.
Yeah, you have advantage for another turn. Absolutely, you
Oh.
are. Yeah. That's a hit.
Then yeah, hit him for 23 for 5.
All right. For a minute, I thought you meant you hit him for 23 points of damage. I'm like, you did what?
That's a really good shot.
That's impressive.
Yeah. It's a pretty good bow. I'm gonna, at that point, as I kind of call him out like that, I'm gonna throw away the bow, draw the sword, and kind of point it towards him as a challenge, and start walking down the hill.
Okay.
And I do say walking. I don't want to get down there too quick.
Right. You're just gonna say as you promptly collapse. All right. So you hit him, and he kind of he looks at you. And he draws his sword forth, and he
actually be a king, quite a man of the blood of kings running through his veins.
Oh, and he strides forward. So there's this scene where you see Robar is kind of, Inga, you can actually get a good vantage point of this. You see Robar is kind of, again, even though he's on this gravel, he kind of somehow manages to stay upright, more or less, as he's, walking down it. And Walter is charging the other direction at him with his sword held high, and then gets to the bottom and swings upward in a vicious attack. He actually attacks twice.
As he's fighting, I'm like, you've got a clear shot!
I've got him. I think I have him annoyed.
I know we have this. Help!
17.
Yes.
Okay. So he did this with both hands.
Well, so
see.
did I. I used my
So
bow.
did I. He does 5 points of damage on that attack.
Woo.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
Okay.
And so, hey, what's up, Genly? And so he slashes you and kind of stands looking at you, looking up at you, and says something about, I am the new king. Your race is dying. And so he says that, and then that's going
Looks
to
to
lead
me like
to...
you're dying.
No, you're... okay.
No, you're dying.
Yeah, you're the one who's dying here. And, okay, Tani is up. I'd like to point out that happens as Tasty Chai does the Thundercats. So I just had this image of you doing thunder, thunder, thunder. Like, you could use some
Nice.
Thundercats right now. Anyway, all right, Tani, you were surrounded, although you do see, not quite surrounded, but you have those 4 guys positioned as you see there. You do notice vaguely out of the blood-tinged haze of your fighting that some other person has come close, but you don't really know the details.
Right.
So...
I should have been spending this entire round getting my hand-to-hand attack set up, but I didn't. So we will go with hand-to-hand is just strength, right?
Yes. Yes, although... I want to know if you're proficient in unarmed, though.
I doubt it.
Under melee attack. Actually, Tani, I'm going to say that you are proficient in it for the sake of this. You are not, as you've said, really there at the moment. So you are actually attacking by instinct. I want you to take 5 temporary hit points. And you are now attacking by instinct. You also don't really have a lot of control. You can tell me things like attack or disengage, but that's it. Like, you can't pick targets or anything like that.
Oh, I wasn't. Well, I was. Any level of picking targets was going to be assigning numbers to the squares around me and rolling a d6 to see.
Oh, all right. Well, good. Well, we're all on the same page then.
There is no real strategy to this. It is what is the next
Okay,
thing.
good.
Trevor, it's all good.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, River tries to look as little like an enemy as possible. Like, I'm fine.
Some more paint.
We're all fine here.
Okay, so
I'm looking right now for the.
yeah. And during this next round, I will put in the thing. I just need to know what we're rolling.
Okay, let's see.
So I think
make it a straight. Yeah, so you're gonna make it a straight strength check. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say 1d6 bludgeoning instead of, because what I had there originally was 1 bludgeoning, which no. So 1d6 bludgeoning.
All right. So and it's going to be a strength instead of dexterity, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
definitely.
it'll be a +1 to this d20 roll. So 3.
Okay.
Well, at disadvantage. Yeah, that's probably not going to get much better than that.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you say a disadvantage?
I have disadvantage for the exhaustion.
Yeah, but not on an attack though. It's on an ability check that we're talking about with exhaustion.
I will roll once more. Wait.
No, I don't think you have either. I don't think you have advantage
yeah.
or disadvantage. You just have what you have. So,
Okay.
okay, yeah, that is unfortunately a miss. You strike out, but one of the things, Tani, as you're sort of doing this, is also do me a favor and roll a d6 and take out and subtract 1. Let's see which one of them actually was attacked.
D6 -1.
Okay. So that means that you hit or tried to hit this dude. And River, you see that just Tawny, as he's doing this, just sounds. His sounds are not even human, right? He's just like, there's just this,
Part of that is because he's coughing up blood at the same time.
that's also that. But it's just, it's the violence is sort of extreme as you see it. But he does miss this guy, unfortunately. And I'm not going to ask if he moves because he's not. That's going to lead us to the archers. Okay, the archers actually fire up at, first of all, at Robar. Again, that Inga, the set of them sort of fires us stuck into the air again. Let's see.
This is 1v1.
8, 23... 16, 22.
No.
That's
All
three.
bad numbers.
That's
All
3
bad.
hits, I assume, except for the 8.
Anything over a 14 is going to get me.
Okay. You take 9 points
They
of damage.
dodge out the way and it gets him now.
You take, you somehow redirect all of them into Walter.
Oh man, I've just been Boromir all in one go.
Yep.
No, God.
9 points of damage, so you're down to 6. So you kind of take. I need you to make also a dexterity saving throw, please, because you are currently on this gravel, as you know.
17.
Okay, so you do that. So you're like, you managed to kind of hold us there.
The arrow.
Exactly. All right. They now move even with this. Let's see. They move up here. And a couple of this one after firing turns around, and Inga definitely seems to be looking in your direction. You have a suspicion that they know there's something going on up there, and they're desperately trying to find where the hell you are at the moment. Speaking of you, it's your turn. This is the third and final round of advantage, by the way.
Yes.
Also the third and final round before the other exhaustion kicks in, although that doesn't apply to you, Inga. Because you're fine.
Yeah, I'm on 6 HP, by the way, for those following. For those playing along at home.
What did you say?
For those playing along at home, I have 6 HP.
So,
Yep.
with like this guy, could I like leap at him from my point where I am?
Distraction!
You'd need to be able to. You could go 5, 10, 15. If you run around, this is what you could do. You have 2 options. You can climb up on the rock in front of you, because remember, it's only about 5 feet. So you can climb up on the rock and then leap from the rock, but that means 5, 10, 15, 20 plus down. That means that you're talking about 45 feet, which is a hell of a jump, but I'll allow you to try to make it.
Wait, 45?
Or, yeah, because
You
you're
know,
going...
when you're jumping down, gravity does the job for you, just saying.
Yeah, yes. Yes, it does go for you. It also does the job in making it a little bit more difficult for you to control, insofar as I don't believe Inga usually does the Brad Pitt jumping attack in Troy, is what I'm going to guess.
So
I have not
well
seen
at
that.
firing arrows.
Or you can go around the southern edge of this rock. So you could do 5, 10, 15, 20... It's pushing it a little bit, but you could do that and try to leap at him. I would say this way is going to be harder to get to him, but you're less likely to take damage from this jump. Going straight over the rock, you're more likely to take damage, but you're also more likely to hit him.
Is it that bit where Gimli just jumps onto all of the pikes? And
Yes.
somehow
Exactly. Pretty much.
Well, yeah, Inga is gonna, climb onto the rock and leap at the
Oh my God.
first guy. Like,
Go, Inga,
I
go.
heard you guys
Go,
were
Inga, go.
looking for me. And jumps.
All right, make a
Well,
dexterity.
she first gets her axe, of course, so that you can, like,
Sounds good. Let's make a dexterity ability check here. Not a save. You're making a dexterity check, and not a disadvantage or anything. Although, do you have inspiration? Because chat, I'm just saying.
I still have inspiration.
She still
You
doesn't
have
it.
inspiration.
Gonna
Do you
use-
want to use it?
But wait, doesn't she have advantage right now?
Yeah, but like only
On
attack
attacks,
rolls.
but not. She's got to actually make the jump
Oh.
first.
Okay,
Okay,
right.
yeah, so I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we get.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh man! All right, so she jumps forward, and the problem is she makes a really heroic leap, but this is a long jump, and As you push off the edge of the boulder, your foot slips a little bit. So you go forward and you actually land in front of him. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is to make a saving throw. Let's see how much damage you take. A dexterity saving throw. Also, this is going to determine if you can actually attack him on the same turn. Let's see. That one is not at advantage. That's a 12. All right. So you were going to take, let's see. All right. The bad
I was gonna have
news...
my heroic moment here.
Yeah, I know.
Damn it.
The bad news is you take 5 points of damage as you hit the
fine.
ground. The good news is that you still have your weapon, so you don't lose your weapon as you hit the ground. And you actually startle the hell out of the archers, kind of like, "Ugh!" Like all of a sudden a dwarf just appears and leaps in front of him, so you can attack him.
Okay, yeah, then I'm doing that.
All right. Oh, I think she was inspired. Chaotic says you weren't inspired by him? I guess not as much. Wow. Critical hit.
Oh my god.
Nice. All right.
Yes.
Let's see what the what kind of damage you're gonna do. What's maximum damage for you?
Maximum damage is 8. No, wait, wrong weapon. 14.
14. You absolutely decapitate this dude. So you just get down to the ground, land, and you're just like, whoa, like this. His head goes flying off and actually bangs into the archer, like the back of the other guy. And the guy sort of turns like, ah! Like he turns around and sees
oh
the
my
guy's
God!
head like this. And you guys now, unfortunately, Robar is most people don't see that because River and Tawny are otherwise occupied, but oh my God, was that epic.
I like catch out the corner of my eye.
you're like, damn, what was that? Okay, yeah, that was pretty damn impressive, Inga.
Does that intimidate the other archers?
Yeah, it doesn't intimidate them, but it definitely flips this dude out. Like, he is definitely, like, in your, like, what? Like, looking in your direction, like, okay, here is the real threat.
Only about 45 more to go.
Okay, see Echo. Yeah, exactly.
For the
Okay.
end of Inge's turn, like, she kicks over, like, I'm assuming, like, the corpse is, like...
The corpse is still standing, basically. Yeah, there's a... Right.
It's like she kicks it
Nice.
over, and she's, like, probably, like, her face covered in blood now from,
Yep.
like, the blood splatter.
He just hits
and
the
just,
ground.
like, tries to stare down, like, the other guys.
They are... Well, the two guys are not paying attention, but the one who was hit and just looked back is, like... And it sort of almost looks at you over the sea of, like, people fighting back and forth, and is kind of like his eyes widen in fear. So you definitely made an impression, I would say. All right.
Almost worth, like, falling down on my face.
That was what led to it. That was what built it up. That was okay.
Momentum.
There was momentum, exactly. River, you're up.
All right, River is going to attack this guy. How do I make the? Oh, there we go. That guy. Yes.
Okay.
So the person closest to her. Although if it so.
I will allow you to do that at advantage because he's not paying attention. He's focused right now on Tawny, so I'll let you do that on advantage against him.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm like the general. She can tell that Tawny is not in his right mind.
Yes.
And wants to kind of try and make sure to always keep people between her and him, so that she can both be flanking with him, but also out of reach of him.
If you wanted to do that, you could shift right here, because that would still put you behind the guy and basically put a buffer of one person between you and Tawny. So you could do that if you want.
Right. Okay.
It will put you in range of this other dude, but, you know.
Do I want to do that? Yes. Is it possible for her to do her kind of move thing and attack, like use one hand axe on this guy and one hand axe on the other one?
I would say not, especially because you're trying to maintain a flank on the one guy. I would say that you've got the two on that one guy, but you can keep it so that neither one is flanking you. Like, neither one is going to get advantage on you, basically, of your positioning.
Okay, here goes. Attacking.
Let's see. Let me just quickly. The 13 does not hit. The 15 does.
Oh, the 18, right?
I mean, sorry, I beg your pardon. The 18, yes. Also, the 15 would have hit, in case anyone's curious. So you do hit with the 1 attack.
Okay. Oops.
Okay. So you strike him, and he now is like, and he kind of looks back, and he realizes, you're like looking back and forth, realizing this is not his attention is still mostly occupied with the incredibly dangerous looking tawny bear in front of him. Yeah. Okay.
Is it just a straight 1d6 damage for your thing? You don't have any bonuses at all to that attack? To the damage?
I don't think so. Wouldn't it be great if I was misreading everything? Let's see.
Add your dexterity bonus to your damage.
I do?
No. Yes, you do that, right? I'm not being dumb.
I don't remember if
you
it was your
get
dexterity bonus or your strength bonus.
You had. It depends on the weapon you're using, right? If it's versatile, you can use either. Yeah, finesse.
That's right.
You don't add your proficiency bonus. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. So it should be 1d6 plus what, 2? Or
plus
3, whatever your dex bonus is.
Yeah, what's your dex
plus
bonus?
3. Plus
okay,
3.
So then 3 more.
Yeah.
Oh, does that mean that Walter also gets plus 3 on the attacks that I made on him? So that would be plus 6 because both of them landed.
That's true.
Nice.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yep.
Hooray! That's
All
great.
right. So you do that.
Is there a way to indicate this on the sheet? Or
I can go in if
Do I
Greg,
need
if
to
you want to
make-
give me access to the sheet, I can go in and mess
Okay.
around.
For now, I'll just keep adding plus 3. But okay, awesome.
Yeah.
How do I make you an editor, Will? Or like whatever?
You go to onto the sheet, edit sheet, and then you can make me give permissions to.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Hand axes are not finesse weapons. So.
This was an exception. There was an exception
Yeah,
made at character
she and I
creation.
talked about this
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then in that case,
because of the particular quality of it. Okay. Wait, I don't think I gave you. I don't need to put it in your journal, right, Will? I can just.
Yes, put it in my journal, yeah.
There we go.
And
Now
there we
both
go.
of those should be good. Okay.
Cool.
Good, lovely. All right, the bad guys go. All right. They. I was like, what was this thing? And then I realized it was literally the comma of what was left over after I zeroed out the one archer. I'm like, you just see a comma, like literally just blank space. That's all that's left of the guy, which is more or less what happened in reality. Okay. So the one here, all the 4 of those guys are going to continue to try to press home their attack against Tawny. Let's see.
well, they should.
Be stupid
Yeah.
not to.
Got those edits in for you there, Mel.
Sorry. Oh, great. Thank
So
you.
19, 19, 14, 12.
All of them hit.
All those hit.
Yikes.
Yeah. That's. Oh my god, 2 1s.
Really? Amazing.
Yeah, all right. However, that's
Oh, wait,
still
no,
going
2
to work
ones.
out to 8 points of total damage,
Oh God!
which means your temper gone and you're at no, I'm sorry. That's not right. That's not right. Negative 6. So, no, god damn it. It is 8. So that means that you should be at -2, I believe, if I've got that right. Okay. Yeah, it was 8. All right. So you're -2. So you see Tawny kind of stumble over and more or less faceplant with his sort of hand, like his last kind of, attack or his last swipe is kind of feebly going down the one guy's leg. And they all sort of look down. There's no, like, laughing, though. They almost sort of seem more like, and then they turn around to face the other person who's in front of them, or who was fighting them, and that, of course, is you, River. So they turn their attention to you.
Great.
Okay, Robar, you now are still standing, and you've got Walter in front of you, who looks kind of a little messed up, actually.
Oh yeah, those slashes. They hurt a lot more than I thought they did.
Yep.
Hang on.
He's like, well, these wounds are far deeper than I assumed.
Just stop me.
Fuck you!
I'm gonna say I'm gonna shout to the men, and be like,
Is this your king?
yeah. Can he fight for himself? And
Walter the doofus, am I right?
am I right?
I have literally been trying to write a mocking song about Walter here on the side, but I will wait.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay,
Nice.
so I'm going in to attack with my longsword against him, aiming for that throat. Oh, it's an 8.
And that's not going to do it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That is a miss. And you kind of, part of it is that you're trying to maintain your balance too on this gravel, so you sort of, you kind of slip forward a little bit.
I am the high ground.
And he dodges back out of the way, and he says, "Apparently even Dunedain forget things, don't they? Like how to fight." And
That is so lame.
and then he staggers forward. And
So bad.
he staggers forward and strikes again at your legs, Robar. He seems to be trying to take them out from under you.
No.
Let's see. We have got. I like the idea of you yelling, by the way, that's lame, Adam. So lame! So lame! So dumb. Okay.
I like the idea of Robar yelling, "Yes, I do forget things. Who are you?"
Who are you?
Can you teach me how to fight, please? I'm doing terrible.
Voltar the Sucky? What was it? 11 and
The
18.
bumbling, I think, was it?
The
Voltar.
18 is gonna hit. I've got 6 HP.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Yeah, exactly. He does 6
Am I
damage.
gaining?
He does 6 damage.
Oh,
He strikes you again with his 2, and you sort of, so you fall backwards on the ground and kind of slide down a little bit,
I
and
took a slow slide just down.
he kind of looks over you and shouts in triumph, and he kind of waves his hand kind of in the air, and he says, "All right, finish him off, men, and then the rest of the bear things." And and all of his men around him kind of in delight sort of yell. And Tawny Bear, I need you to make a death save for me, please.
Oh my god.
Inge shouts loudly as she sees her friend go down. Robar, no!
No. Okay. That is a close to 2 failures, but that is 1 failure. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Tawny Bear has got 1 death failure. All right.
Wait, how does death work?
That's true. We haven't. So you see.
It doesn't work. Don't worry about it.
See, here's the way. The
When
way
you have no more blood.
yeah. The way death works in this system is you basically get a chance to take what's called a death saving throw. And it's basically a straight 20 roll. 10 or above is a success, 9 or below is a failure. You need to get 3 successes or 3 fails. If you get 3 fails, you are dead. If you get 3 successes, then you are stable. If you get a natural 20, then you are not only stable, but you actually get a hit point. So you actually are like, like recover to life. If you get a natural 1, it counts as 2 failures.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Yep.
So scary.
He was really close to.
It's not a TPK yet, Brahms, but we'll see. They're trying to hold back this army, and it's not easy.
This
Okay.
is not for my bully.
All right. That leads to the. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you had a
I have
question.
one
Remember?
quick question. Yeah, just I just want to make sure. So on my sheet, on the inspiration thing, I have a rune. Does that mean that I can use inspiration? Is it there?
That
for
might
me
have
to-
been from last month though, because they get reset.
Oh, okay. So I should
So
take that out.
yeah. Although
Okay.
this would be a good time for chat to inspire everybody, because especially on Tawny's death throws, because
Yeah.
so I'm just saying I haven't reset, which is my bad. I haven't reset the inspirations for this month yet, chat. But you should be able to check quickly and see if you had one from last time that didn't need to be reset that you never used, or if you support the Patreon or subscribe to the channel at a high enough level that you get one. So double check that, chat. That's your homework. Whilst I deal with the archers, who now turn in the direction of Inga, and one of them slides, and they basically draw their bows and fire away at the dangerous-looking dwarf. Let's
Come
see.
at me, bro.
Nah.
15,
No.
and then a critical miss, and then a 7. So,
no.
One of them shoots himself.
okay,
Oh!
so the 15 misses too?
Yeah, I have 16 now.
Oh, nice. So you're just like, wow, 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 Inga, just like. So Dragon
Wait,
Spear is
wait,
going to
wait.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice.
very nice. Very nice. Dragon Spear inspired the river, so the river has been inspired.
Hooray!
Oh.
All right. Those are the archers. Okay, so we come up to the beginning of the 4th round. So at this point, your exhaustion is setting in, folks. So those of you who have 2 levels of exhaustion, it means your speed is halved now, and you still have the ability check problems that we talked about. No more advantages for anybody except based on inspirations that chat might give you. And River, you are actually no. I'm sorry. Inga is up first.
Well, I'm taking a rest, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. You're fine. You're not even here.
Yeah, Inga is just like straight up run to the guy in the middle and like basically leap attacks him like with her axe.
He like backs up like as you're coming in on him. All right, go ahead and make your attack.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, and I don't
think
you had inspiration on this one or advantage on this one, right?
No advantage. No, that was just 3 rounds, right?
Unfortunately, yep. Unfortunately, you miss. And he kind of manages to dodge out of the way as you like, you can only decapitate so many people at a time, and unfortunately that does not work out for you. River, it's not looking good for the home team right now. It is.
River, when she sees Tawny go down, River, you have to understand, is a fairly quiet fighter. She is much more like sneak attacks, right. So on.
Right.
And has not like screamed or anything. She looks very fierce, but she's been very quiet. When she sees Tawny go down, she actually screams and like blood curdling, hateful, horrible scream, and just goes to attack. At this point she will want to attack both of these guys if she can.
Okay.
To do like one hand axe per, basically. To do this one and this one.
Okay. Rongar, now would be a good time to surrender. You assume that they would take it. Walter is seems not to be so much on that side of things.
So yeah, it'd be great if Stone turned up all of a sudden, but no, she would rather he didn't. So she is going to attack those guys. I'm going to use inspiration on this because like seeing Tawny go down is like this horrible moment of doom. So
right.
Doom!
Doom!
It's like, not on my fucking watch, you assholes.
Okay, let's see. The 18 will hit. 11 does not.
But isn't it inspiration?
Do you have? You used inspiration on this one?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Then
like,
I didn't hear. I'm sorry. I
combo.
didn't hear that part. Yep. I'm sorry. Yes, you hit on both. Yep.
Great.
Wow. Okay. And for your next trick. Okay. All right. He looks very hurt. He looks very hurt. Like he kind of staggers backwards, almost trips over Tawny Bear's prone form as he's looking at you, and he seems very, very troubled, kind of almost holding up his hands like, don't, not my fault or something.
Ow.
Like, yeah, that hurt a lot. Okay. Now, the warriors kind of move in, but as they are about to close in, you hear what sounds like this baying. It's a howl which many of you, it's this unearthly almost howl. And River, you just sort of look up, kind of staring as the fray. Everywhere you look around you, you see there are bodies of Bjornings who should have lived for much longer than this. You see bodies of bandits. The stench of blood is heavy in the air. The dust and grit of the battle from fighting in this dry, riverbed with the stones kind of chokes your lungs. And as you look up, you hear this baying and then see this gray form leaping from the side of the fold. And there's a moment where there's almost a slow-mo moment where the warrior looks up, and then the body of a large dog goes plowing into him and hits this one over here, and hits them, and bam, like just sort of hits backwards. So I need you to we're going to add Stone to the initiative tracker. Stone did not obey you.
Stone, how could you? No.
Stone was like, nope, not doing this. It was funny because just as you asked me that question, Trendane had privately asked me the question, which I had already in my mind been like, okay, and here's where Stone comes back. So everyone had the same thing in mind. All right.
It was like right before you asked.
Literally, yeah.
Don't disobey.
In fact, for a minute I looked and I was like, he did do that privately to me, right? Like he didn't even say. So, all right, where is
when
that?
is my pony gonna come in? and
No,
trample
that
all of
you do not see Lilimon. I thought about that, but that's a little, yeah.
No,
Lilimon is not
you
gonna.
thought of war
Kicking.
pony. He's just like
War
scary.
pony type of thing. Beowulf? Okay, so let's see. What was I going to say? So yeah, here comes Stone. So can you do me a favor and move his token? Because you have his token on your screen or not?
Yeah. So that's where he arrives there.
Yep. And he's that big!
He's a giant dog.
Okay, we're going to add him in here. So I want you to make an attack for him, River. And we're going to put that right after. Let's see. That was right before the Warriors. So.
Does
Okay,
he
he
get
has
to ride
8
on
hit
my
points. 8 hit points, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, he's absolutely doing this at advantage. They this complete surprise. They're like, "What? Who? What the hell is this thing?"
Oh, wait a second. It says. Oh no, never mind. Okay, never mind. Yeah, got it.
All right. So because
yeah.
we have it that now he does an attack. Like we can have you attack. So so go ahead and attack for him, and he is going to be doing it at advantage.
And it is that is a straight strength.
I think so. I believe so.
Oh, bite.
It's a bite. Yeah, I don't remember how much damage though. We worked that out before, but.
Yeah, I think it's all in here.
Okay, that definitely hits without
Wow.
any question.
Oh, Stone. Okay. Oh, and it must succeed. So the guy has to succeed at a DC 13th strength saving throw or have disadvantage on his next attack also.
Yeah, he sure doesn't.
Okay. So I had just hit the bite and that rolls the damage.
7 piercing, yeah. So just from this distance, this just furious dog missile basically strikes from there, and he kind of he's like flailing wildly at Stone, who seems to have latched onto his arm, and he's kind of flailing wildly at him. ICDM. The one behind him also kind of staggers back, having been hit by this. So there's basically these 2 guys who are currently disrupted, trying to deal with this. So they don't even get an attack in. The 2 up here do attack you, River. One of them, let's see. The one that's actually that you just destroyed in your last attack is only going to get a 5, but the other one gets a 19.
Oh, he hits.
Which I believe will hit. Let's see. That's going to be... Okay. Does 7 points of damage. Just slashes down, like right along you. And so there's a whole lot of blood.
That brings me down to 2 hit points.
Yep. Okay. That leads us then to, that was the attack from him. Okay, Valter. What is Valter going to do? Valter is, I think, going to, because Valter's actually been hurt quite a bit, so Valter's actually going to back behind his men. So he's got... Yep. Valter
Come
the
here
chicken.
and fight me!
Valter the chicken.
I
Okay.
don't recommend that.
Maybe not such a good idea. Okay.
Don't talk to monkeys, Johnny.
Okay, Tawny, it is your turn. Chat, this might be a good time to give him some inspiration. I'm just saying, you might want to inspire our good friend Trendane here, who's about to make a rather important death saving throw. So if people would be willing to inspire, that would be lovely. I'm just letting you know. Let me see actually if there's anybody in here who I know has inspiration left.
If people would not be willing to inspire, that would be hysterical.
How does inspiration work? So you have to sign up to the Patreon, is that it?
Right. The way chat inspires it, yes. The way chat inspires is if you support the Patreon at the $10 level, you get 1 inspiration per month that you can use in one of my campaigns. Or, dear God, Hillness with a resub. Speaking of someone who I know has inspiration. And then at the $20 level, if you subscribe at that level, the $9.99 or sorry, the $24.99, you get 2 inspirations. Patreon's the same thing. $10, 1 inspiration, $20, you get 2.
I need to go real quickly because there's a storm happening.
Okay,
right now.
go ahead
Make
and
sure
take
all
care
the
of the
windows
storm.
Are closed.
You could do that. So Hilness, are you going to inspire Trendane to try to survive this death? You do have. Well, you don't have 4 inspirations. Let's be clear. You have a maximum of 2, but you can use one of those on Trendane, who's about to make a death saving throw. So you could definitely inspire him if you wish. That was good timing by Hilness, because I knew for a fact that Hilness is supports at a pretty high level. Chaotix already used his to inspire Terry.
I would like to state for the record that I am extremely jealous of Tari because I love storms.
Me too. They're my
Don't
favorite
get
weather.
them. We don't get them here.
Yeah, storms
Yeah, we gotta
are
love just rain.
storms are fun as long as they don't affect the internet. Other than that, they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I don't like storms.
Yeah,
but
Sefio, I was going to say. Okay, Hilness inspires Tawny Bear. All right, Hilness has got the inspiration going, so Tawny is inspired. Thank you, Hilness.
All right, I'll save that for the next one. No, I'm kidding.
What?
Because if I roll a 1, that's it. He's gone. So yes. However, I won't even bother to click the inspiration into the thing because I would just take it right back out
That's
again.
right. And it's true that Chaotix does have another one. That's true. You do. That inspiration list is also out of date. I did not update it for this month, but Chaotix has used one so far. All right. 9. Well, you get inspiration, right? So you're... Okay.
11.
That is a success. 1 success, 1 failure. All right. How's everyone's stress levels
Thank
going?
you.
How's everyone doing?
Fine. I'm unconscious. I don't feel
Exactly.
anything right
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so the archers now, actually, by closing in the way that you have on them, Inga, the archers are actually, they drop their bows and draw knives, which is maybe not, it's better than having them fire arrows at you, basically. So
Actually, no. They'd be at such short range, they'd be at disadvantage. I
Right,
think.
exactly. Okay, we've got an 11 and a 12 and then 1 critical hit. So, one person criticals you, unfortunately, Inga, and does 6 points of damage with that knife. You're flying to Dublin in 3 hours? Nice, dude. Hilness has got more, you got more freaking flyer miles than my father-in-law, I swear to God. Actually, probably not, because my father-in-law has 4 million frequent flyer miles. I don't even know if I can, he's a lobbyist, and, that's all one of his...
God.
Yeah, 4 million frequent flyer miles. This is what happens when you're a lobbyist for 30 years and you fly to Hawaii a lot for your lobbying. So it's just crazy. Yeah.
Good work. If you can
Yeah,
manage.
I'll tell you. Okay, so right, so they hit you, Inga, for that. Okay, so as sort of everyone is kind of standing up looking at this, you can see Inga, it is now your turn, and then the river and then Stone are up, but it's not looking good. Robar is obviously already down. Robar, did I have you roll this turn for
I
death
am
save?
not rolled a death saving
Yeah, I think
throw.
I may have skipped over you by accident. So go
So
ahead
good.
and do a death saving throw.
Yeah,
Failure.
So good.
1
Just-
failure.
Oh, jeez.
doesn't matter.
Robar is
It's not like
down.
I've ever rolled that once.
I guess attacks of opportunity are still a thing.
Yes,
So I can't just run past them and attack water as I would like to.
that is true. You would take attacks on the way out.
I would rather not. Okay, I'm gonna hit the guy in the middle again.
Okay.
12, probably not.
Will hit.
right.
Yep, these are
Yes!
the archers. They don't have the armor is not as strong.
Yeah, right. Oh, 10 damage.
Damn. All right. Damn, girl. All right. You do 10 points of damage. All right. Looks very hurt. Not dead, but real hurt. Like just a big sucking chest wound. As you.
There's more to where that
slash
came
him.
from.
Yeah. Inga is doing some serious work down here. Okay, and obviously I assume you're staying where you are, Inga. Are you gonna?
Yes.
You could shift left or right 5 feet if you wanted. That's up to you, without
Yeah, but
incurring
then
an
they're
attack.
gonna get an attack of opportunity.
No, not if you shift. If you shift
Oh.
one square up or down or back,
Then I'm gonna
technically.
go here.
Okay, yeah, you could do that. All right, that leads us to the river, and then Stone is on deck.
Yes. Okay. So.
Hey,
she's
Classic Gore.
going- So, since the guy directly in front of her is really hurt, can she attack him with one hand axe and go? If that one hits, then go to the next guy.
I was trying to remember, but I think we talked about the fact that normally we can't. It's got to be 2 attacks in the same, didn't we say? Because it's a little bit of an exception to do the 2 attacks to begin with. So I'm pretty
Yes.
sure we said it had to be 2 on the same guy.
Yes, I think there was some penalty otherwise. I could do it, but there was some
Yeah, maybe you'd be attacking the second one at disadvantage, but I think, given the fact that you're already getting a little bit of an advantage in that you're using it as a finesse, which it normally isn't and stuff,
True.
I
Fair.
would say not.
Okay. All right. So Stone's attacking the guy right in front of him. How badly hurt does the guy in front of me look?
Pretty badly.
Like, will he be able to get an attack in?
If you hit him twice, and I mean, if you hit him twice, there's a pretty good chance he's not going to survive this round, you would guess. But otherwise, he could get an attack in, maybe. I mean, just by luck, just, staggering type of thing.
Okay, if I'm just trying, I'm literally trying to look at how to survive this next round.
I don't blame you.
So, so if River actually, at this point, now that Tanya's down, moves to this square before attacking this guy.
Yep, you could do that. You could shift 5 feet.
If she does that, then does this guy still have to? Will he still be able to attack on that turn?
Yeah, because he could slide into the square you just vacated and attacked you.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, why did I not make a character who would back away from this fight? This is was a poor strategy. Okay. I just feel strongly that she should attack this other guy. All right, if that guy is sufficiently down, I think she is actually going to concentrate her attacks on the other one, even though he can quite likely still attack.
By the way, I do want to mention that it is possible for other players to try to stabilize people who were down and dying. I'm letting you know that is possible to do. Now, if you're going to do that, you would have to shift over, basically, and then to do that. Now, if you do that, you're going to incur an attack from the guy who's like, you're doing that. However, if you succeed, and you would be making basically a medicine check. If you succeed in the medicine check, which is basically just, again, a straight roll, if you get a 10 or above, then he's stable and he doesn't have to make saving throws anymore.
Huh.
So I'm just letting you know that's a possibility. You also may just want to keep fighting, but you might not have known that, so.
No, I did not know that. Okay.
But the guy's gonna get a feed.
But the guy's gonna attack me, and then I'm gonna be in that position anyway.
Yep.
Okay, she definitely needs at least one of these people to go away.
That's fair.
Oh man. All right. Okay. Could you remind me? Is it possible to do like the second roll at disadvantage if I wanted to hit both of them?
Is it possible to do the second roll at disadvantage? I really don't think you can do 2 attacks on 2 different people this round.
All right.
Plus, don't you have disadvantage anyway now?
I do. I don't. Not on attacks.
No,
right?
not on attacks yet.
Yeah.
On her speed is halved and she has ability checks are halved, but not attacks.
Okay. Just gonna. All right. I'm just gonna get rid of the one directly between them then, because it'll be easier to get to Tawny to potentially do that. Okay.
Okay.
So, doink, doink, doink.
I did illness. Okay, the 23 will hit. You're not doing this at advantage though, so the 10 does not hit, but the 23 hits. All right. Okay, now extremely hurt. Now looks like just a stiff breeze, but not quite dead. No.
Be dead.
So you would have needed those 2 things anyway, like even as it is. So you would have needed to try to get the 2 attacks on him anyway. Regardless.
Is Stone attacking now?
Yes, Stone is up next, so he goes right after you. So the only thing do you want to shift at all? Like you could still shift 5 feet one direction or the other, or not?
Oh, yes, in fact.
Okay, where do you want to go?
Try to here.
Okay. All right, and now Stone gets to attack.
And so the 2 guys that are directly next to him, are they at disadvantage?
Yeah, they are. They didn't attack these 2 at all because of you're going to see what happens this next round. I mean, it kind of depends on how things go with what happens next.
Okay. Is he able to shift up towards Tawny and attack this guy here?
Like
to kind of...
Yes, he could, yes. He'd be
Okay.
standing on Tawny's body, basically, but yes.
Tawny can probably.
He's just on top of his body, like, oh.
He can probably take it. Yeah, I think. Does that make no sense? Actually, can he attack from Tawny's body this guy over here?
Yeah, sure. Could he do either one?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to eliminate that guy, then...
Yeah, I do. Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so slide him over to on top of Tawny.
Now,
Sorry, Tawny.
it's okay. I have a question now. Does Stone have pack tactics?
I don't know. We'd have to take a look.
Because I think he does, and now that he's within 5 feet of you, he would have advantage on this attack.
Ah, true. If that's true,
Oh.
if he that's a good point. If he does have...
Great.
If he does have that, though...
Yes.
I don't know where.
It'll be
I
under
would-
your... It's under your companion. Let's take a look at the...
the medium piece.
Let's see. Not Bjornings.
What is that noise?
That is my son.
Oh.
Doing his best.
Why
Very,
does
very
he
excited to
sound
be
like
a-
a bird?
He's very excited to be awake. Yes. He shatters glass when he needs to.
Oh
That-
God,
that
the
is-
hour's almost up. Ah.
Yep. Let's see. We got this with this. Right. Okay. We have this with the dog and the thing. Oh my God in heaven! Why is it showing me this? Okay. This is standard of living measure. And there's what far along. This. Okay. Dexterity. Okay. Under Wanderer then. Where the devil did we put... Did I find stuff on stone?
I mean, Stone is. He's like a virtue.
Wait, so that he wouldn't be in. Yeah, okay.
So I don't
Would be.
know.
All dogs are very virtuous.
Yes.
Ah,
He is like the Hound of Mirkwood is classed under Woodsman virtues, I think.
Ah, okay, that's what I wanted to know. All right, so
So that's why I'm not.
Lighting could stop.
I'm not sure whether like that was something that was an option for him. So it would be cool if he does fight like a pack with River.
okay, let's find out. You said under Woodsman.
Page 116.
Wait, what? 162.
116.
Oh, 116.
116.
Okay. All right, guys. I was gonna say.
It does not say he does.
No, I don't see anything about pack tactics. Nope.
It's okay. Shall I just roll his bite?
Yes. He may get disadvantage depending on. That will hit. Yes, that will hit.
Okay.
And also I have to roll. Let's see what he gets for that. He does make his check this time, so he does not get disadvantage. However, the 8 piercing is, and he's just attacking the one that you just attacked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. He sinks his jaws into him, and this guy expires.
Flops away.
Yep. All right.
Okay. Is he? No, he's used his move for this turn, I guess, right? He can't like get between River and the other guy.
Right, because he shifted to do this. Like, if he did
Yeah.
more than that, he'd be incurring attacks. So he's
Right.
supposed to be able to shift to do that. Okay. So, let's see. That means these guys. All right. These
Remember
guys
that
are going to
The
fight.
third guy on the far right, he is at disadvantage because of Stone's attack.
Right, yep.
class.
Yep.
I think they're both supposed to be because they bumped into each other.
Well, no.
So, like-
the one was a disadvantage. The
Oh.
reason they bumped into each other, which is why they didn't attack at all last turn.
Oh, I see.
But the
Okay.
one is not going to do that. So they sort of stagger to their feet, making that sound that you hear in the background. And let's see, that's going to be a
Stone is
attacks
hackles
Stone.
grappling.
So let's see, we've got and then this one is going to shift forward. So the 2 on Stone, one gets a 23 and the other one gets an 11. Do either of those hit?
The 23 hits.
All right. Okay. That's going to do 6 points of damage. Strikes into Stone's side.
No!
As he's hit. And the other one misses. He now sort of slides here. Okay, the other one stands forward to attack you, River. Let's see, with 15.
Miss. Oh!
Okay, you just dodge out of the way.
Ah!
Okay. And they sort of curse.
I don't have a means of lowering Stone's hit points on the sheet, but he'll be down to 2 now.
I see that. Okay. Okay, meanwhile, back up here, the other ones are all going to attack with their knives. So we've got, let's see,
Try.
15, 22, 21.
Oh.
2 hits.
All right, so let's see.
I'm fine. This is fine.
This is fine.
How are you?
3, and, okay, that is 5 points of damage.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Inga, you're so amazing.
All right. All right. So those get struck. All right. That leads us to Tawny. I need you to make another. I need you to make another saving. Sorry about that in the background. I need you to make another saving throw. Now, if someone wants to inspire him again to do this, that would be probably preferable.
We've got 3 minutes left.
Yep, I know. I'm looking. Chaotix has inspired Tawny Bear with his other inspiration, which he does have, even though, guys, I said it was out of date.
Tawny, go.
So 16.
Yes!
So in either case, it's going to.
You got a success either way. All right, 2 successes. Okay.
You had 1 success before, right?
Yes, so this is now 2 successes.
Now 2. So he's now got 2 total. 2 successes.
Oh, I see. Okay, never mind. I just saw 2 rolls that were both successful, so I thought.
Right. The reason I rolled the second time, even
It's
though I had the
advantage.
just in case of the crit.
Gotcha.
This is my Screaming Banshee, who just came in.
Oh.
Hello, Screaming Banshee. All right, now, as you know, you're about to listen because there's an important part coming up, okay? So, as you guys stand there, there's a moment where you see sort of literally, you may remember that a lot of this was happening at night when you actually got up there. So there's the light is beginning to shine over the eastern edge, and there's a moment again of this silence. I mentioned these pauses before, and there's another moment of silence, and then you hear this chanting, and you look around River and Inga. You sort of look around exhausted, covered in blood, and you see the Bjornings are beginning to pound their spears onto the ground, and they begin to hear this sound. At first you don't even know what it is. It sounds like hurt, 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 and then you start hearing it's Bjorn, 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 Bjorn. And then you see this hulking shape appear on the eastern edge. Huge, enormous, standing above, and throws back his head and roars and gives this challenge that echoes across the fold. All of the bandits sort of stare up and look at him, and you see that it is the form of Bjorn, who is risen to almost giant size in his wrath. He has come in the form of a giant bear. He is enormous, probably 15 feet almost, it seems like, in height, standing above. The bandits sort of in confusion kind of look at each other, and behind him you see a set more of, there are several more bears behind him along with Bjornings that are there. And he roars a challenge again, and you see them kind of storm down into the valley. The bandits all sort of like the archers, Inga, all like run the other way, sort of against the side. If a thunderbolt had hit, it wouldn't have had more of an effect than this does. And as you were all sort of looking, you see Walter, sort of terrified, striking back as Bjorn comes up and lifts him by the neck, just holds him up like this, and then pulls him up, and then with an enormous stone slams him down head first on the ground. You don't know what happens to him, but you guess it wasn't very good. There is roaring, crying, sighing, sobbing, shouting, complete confusion. And then, after a couple of minutes, you see what's left of the bandits are sort of staggering away down the fold. You look around to see the exhausted or unconscious or almost dead forms of Tawny. You see that actually that Stone is actually licking Tawny's face. And you sort of on one knee, exhausted, look around. There's a great shout. Many corpses, many dead Bjornings, but many, many more dead bandits. And of course, Bjorn himself, who comes over, nuzzles against Tawny Bear, and then kind of looks at you. And again, River, you've never seen a bear this big. I mean, its head, his head looks to be like mostly the size of your torso. Like it's ridiculous. And he kind of looks at you and then looks down at Tawny as if to be like, go fix him now or something. And kind of looks down at you this way.
Can I do a medicine check?
Yes.
All right.
We're still in initiative, but I'll allow you to do that.
Okay.
Which was which? I don't have the thing up at the moment.
Oh,
Seven.
sorry. It was 10.
Okay, that's fine. So you do manage to stabilize him. Now, Robar is still in danger. Inga, are you going to do anything about that?
Yeah, well, she runs over to Robar. It's like, don't you die on me, don't you die on me, and like tries to stabilize him too.
Literally, I'm playing the song Healing by Kevin MacLeod. All right, go ahead and roll for that. That doesn't do it. Okay,
She
so...
wraps a tourniquet around his neck.
All right, pull. Okay. So Robar, I'm gonna need you to make another death saving throw. Again, Chad, if you wanted to inspire our good friend Robar here, that might be a good idea.
I'm that one away from death.
Yep.
I've got a really bad feeling about this one.
You can do it. You can
Is
do
anyone
it.
going to inspire? Is anyone going to take the moment to inspire?
I'm calling a 12. A 12 is what you're going to roll.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for chat. Just double checking to see if chat's going to do anything.
Can I bribe them with things?
Well,
If you die, No, I don't want you to. No.
No, don't say that.
I'll sing. I would sing a dirge. I would totally sing a dirge on camera.
His inspiration dragon says you can do it. That's his
All right,
inspiration. You can do it. All right. It looks like yeah, Chaotix has run out, unfortunately.
All right, I'm gonna look.
Yes!
19. All right. Oh, we got a success. Okay. All right.
Wow,
Inga, you can try again. And actually, River, if you look up and notice now that he's out of danger, you could also kind of run over to attend if you want. So,
Absolutely.
all right,
To
attend to Robar if you want.
Oh, can I assist? Is that a thing
Yes,
I can do?
you can. Each of you could is basically. I'm saying each of you could make a separate
Yeah.
medicine check. So starting with
Great.
Inga.
Are we still on initiative?
No.
Yeah, technically, but I'm gonna let Inga. I'm gonna let you, and then
Okay. Okay. Well. Yeah.
Nope, that's not gonna do it.
I'm coming over. And
Stone runs after you.
Like,
No,
Inga's
I
hands
told
are just
Stone
like
it's
covered
funny.
in
Stone stays
Robar's
there.
blood, and she's like on the verge of crying. It's like, help him, save him.
And River draws a deep breath and approaches and just tries what she can.
Wow.
Yes!
Wow. So sort of inspired by yourself.
It's just
with
like,
the
she
effect.
can't stand to see Inga crying or in pain, and just like, put her hands on the way that she's seen Tawny do, as if it could possibly help in any way, and then does something there.
And so you do that, and you see that Robar's breathing eases, and he is out of danger. And I think, actually, as he is out of danger, that is a good spot for us to pause, because next week we will see what happens in the aftermath. I should say, by the way, as you're looking down, you actually see limping up. He seems to have taken a terrible cut in the battle, sort of just kind of holding on to the hilt of his sword, is Oderic.
Oderic?
And Oderic kind of falls to one knee and kind of puts his hand on Robar, and then looks back over at Tawny, and then kind of just collapses back unconscious. He's not in danger of dying, but falls back unconscious. And the gloomy fold filled with bodies, the fog kind of rolls in. And that, I think, is where we will bring this to a pause. That battle was pretty much as advertised, guys. That was rough.
We did survive.
But you did survive.
Oh.
And you did. You survived the number of rounds you needed to. I wasn't sure you were going to there all the time, but yeah. But nice work, everyone. Most of the time, that's as combat heavy as we ever get. But I mean, that, in fairness, that is the that's a pretty big, important battle. So, yeah. Shouldn't the cliffhanger happen before we learn? No. I'm not going to do that. I thought about it, but that's a little too strong. These guys were already.
So I get all the cliffhangers here, but like the other ones are.
But you're not actually close to death. You're just hanging on to webs and stuff. I mean, like that's a totally different thing.
Sure.
And Inga, listen, you should feel good about your decapitation protocols that you engage in. So, but good work today, everybody. And next week, of course, you have not only this to attend to, but there is, of course, the matter of a certain trial of Sir Oderic that we'll have to consider. So we will see. Anyway, I'm looking forward to see what happens next week. I will start as I always do, this time at the bottom of the column with Amal. Stone disobeyed you, but it seems like this was the right time for him to disobey.
Stone has been instilled with a righteous sense of drama and knows exactly when to disobey orders. Bless him forever.
Like his master, he does not necessarily when he feels like he needs to help, he doesn't want to stay behind. So true
that. Oh wait, am I supposed to say things now?
Yes.
Right. Sorry, I'm reeling. I'm adrenaline-y. Gosh, right. So you can. Wow, it feels terrible to do anything advertising now. I just survived a battle, Greg.
I know, but that's fine. You could tell people like, boy, if they liked your work in that battle, where else could they?
Right. So I just launched a drip account, which is a thing that is it's Kickstarter's answer to Patreon, which was an answer to Kickstarter.
Yep.
So it's basically Patreon but from Kickstarter. Anyway, it's I'm treating it as a subscription service. So if you want to have access to like subscriber only posts, which will mostly be reviews and or poetry, some of which may very well be inspired by this campaign, as I am for sure working on a mocking song of Walter who faltered, etc.
The faltering Walter.
The faltering Walter. Anyway, you can subscribe there. There are a number of tiers that give you different perks and different abilities to like influence what I read next or write about next and stuff like that. So it is d.rip/amal-l-muhtar. You can find me there. You can also find me at my website, which is amalelmuhtar.com, or on Twitter, although I am soon to go on a quite massive Twitter hiatus as I try to dig in and finish my dissertation by June. So I may very soon go on a 2-month-long Twitter hiatus, at which point, following my blog, my newsletter from my blog, or Drip will be the only ways to kind of talk to me on the internet. So if you're interested in that, then go to any of those places. And on Twitter, I'm Tithenai, Tithenai.
Good stuff. Thank you. As always a pleasure. And I am looking forward to seeing what happens next week, when I suspect River will have quite a bit to say. Moving right along, we have, of course, Inga, who, man, the MVD, like most valuable dwarf, I think we can say in that battle. That was impressive, Inga. Some good stuff out of Inga. And again, you thought you would fail, then it was going to be an epic, and then you succeeded epically. So that's.
I had 2 critical failures in this battle. So.
Oh my god.
Well, okay, but in the end, you occupied some archers, and you know.
Yeah, I did, and I was like one of the last, probably survived with the most hit points. How many hit points did River have in the end?
2.
Okay, so I did have most hit. I'm just so glad I remembered to recalculate my armor class, because I was like, wait, that can't.
Yeah, that's definitely
because I'm kind of used to the 3.5 character sheet where you punch in the separate numbers and then it calculates it together for you, but this one you have to do the math yourself.
Right.
So I kind of forgot that. But yeah.
But it was good. It was good stuff. Where can people find you outside of the? She's the last dwarf standing. You were the last dwarf standing.
The first.
Also the first dwarf standing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. People can find me on all of the social media: Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I don't know. All under the name Taritunes. And also this weekend you will be able to find me in Aachen at the Comicjade at. Oh God, that sounds so weird to say, like in like this English-German mix. The location is called Der Alte Schlachthof. If you want to come, it would be fun. You will be able to find me at the Tunes Up booth with my friends. Yeah, well, I know like people are not in the area generally, but like who knows? Maybe somebody will be there who can come there.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That's cool, and exactly right, Kleskor. Who cares about the one ring when you have the one dwarf? Exactly, one dwarf to rule them all. Wonderful stuff as always, Terry, and I look forward to next week already. And moving right on up the list, we have Robar, who was this was kind of dicey at times for you at least towards the end. Although you got some good shots in. You took some good shots, so this has been quite a lot.
Robar did better than I thought he would do, actually, which is to say he rolled higher than 10 more than once. And I'm pretty happy with that performance for him, actually, getting in some good shots. I think my problem was like I was doing great up until the three guys turned around and shot me, and they all got me. And I was like, oh, that's me.
You got Boromir, like you say. That was
He is not anywhere near as tanky as Boromir. He is a little bit more weedy Aragorn / So yeah, no, I was quite happy with the performance overall.
You made a death save when you needed to, also, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a clutch death save. So.
Yeah. Made one other pretty bad one, but no, I was happy with how Robar did today. I wouldn't have been sad if he had died then, I think, because he did give quite a good account of himself, which is how I measure how much I enjoyed any battle. Really is that would have been an okay battle to die at. So I'm interested to see where we take things from here. Whether Robar is living with an injury for a while after the beating that he's taken, and what road we walk down next as a fellowship. So yeah, I'm excited. But you can find me on Twitch, Cat Roleplay. That's where I work over there. I'm live tonight in a couple hours time for my shows, but I've got a new season of shows starting in 2 weeks. I was talking to Arvin earlier. We've got a Star Wars show on the lineup. We've got loads of shows on the lineup, actually. The biggest mix of role-playing games that we've ever had on the channel. So we're playing City of Mist, we're playing Star Wars, we're playing Warhammer, D&D as well. So yeah, it's going to be a really fun mix, so keep an eye out for that. And I've, goddammit, go onto my Twitter because I spent the past few weeks doing another 8 trailers for the shows in After Effects. So someone better go and watch them because...
There's some really good ones. Like, your videos are real good, dude.
I swear to God. But yeah, no, that's where you can find me. But I'm looking forward to next week, right? We're here next week.
Yeah, next week. Next week is going to be a big one. Next week we'll wrap up this episode, Kinstrife and Dark Tidings. But, we'll have to see how you guys do in this next episode, which is not necessarily combat-oriented, but it's got some other stuff, so... that will be good stuff. I am looking forward to seeing a lot of that. I definitely am looking forward to checking out that Star Wars game too. It should be fun to see how that all goes. Thank you, Will, as always. Great pleasure. And last but certainly not least, someone who, I don't know how you felt this was going to go, Trent. I mean, it was definitely, you got your feral attacks and you didn't hit with many of them, unfortunately.
I didn't really.
You didn't really hit the things, but you definitely were, I mean... You behaved, I guess, the way you expected. You didn't hurt your friends either, so there's that.
What I was really hoping would happen is that at least one of his attacks would hit.
Yeah.
And, that he would take at least one person down. And that, if Inga was looking like, see, that's how... And before she could finish the sentence, Tawny was just continuing to just beat the living crap out of the dead body, just ripping into it, and watch her go, maybe not. Just like, okay, why don't you sit over there and just heal us when we need it? Because I don't like seeing you fighting. Anyway, but I think this will work out well as well, because now she may think, okay, maybe that's why he's a wuss, because he sucks.
She was too busy leaping. She was too busy leaping into, and decapitating archers.
Yeah, well, she was kind of like busy, especially like after Robar climbed down and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take on Walter," and then she kind of like internally panicked because she was like, "Yeah, he's gonna die."
Yep.
Let's try to make him not die.
Yep.
So, you can find me on Twitter and all this stuff. And more specifically, I said I would mention this at the end of the show.
Yes.
So this is where I'm going to mention this at the end of the show. And I just put the link in chat, but it'll show up for you guys. Blah, blah, blah. It's already there for you guys, actually. I have a GoFundMe that is up and running that I did some voice.
So anyway, that is going to do it, however, for us. I want to thank the party and also thank everyone who watches us in the VODs, because I know we have a lot of people who watch us on the videos later on. I also want to mention, by the way, I've told this to the party before, but I wanted to mention that for ArvCon, my hope is that we will be able to have all of them here for either a Friday or a Saturday during the day. I'll have to work this out with them. For ArvCon is my charity convention that I run every year to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. We raised over $2,000 last year, and I would like to raise over $3,000 this year if I can. So I want that weekend, which is going to be Memorial Day weekend in the States. It's the last weekend of May. I would like everyone, all of my basically games to be able to play on that weekend. So I will talk to them about this off air, but the hope is we'll be able to do that, and then you will get to see these folks along with my Genesis people, my D&D with GOG, and of course the Infinity and Beyond crew as well. So we will do stuff on that. And Classic Horror R Vital 3 should be next month, is when the plan is for that. But anyway, so that will be happening hopefully next month with ArvCon. But we have another week with these folks this month, of course, and that will be next Tuesday at the same time at noon Eastern, by which time I will already have a new credit card. So I want to thank everyone for doing a great job today. Thank you all. Good stuff out of everyone. And Tren, Will, Terry, and Amal, thank you all. I will see you all next week. Chat. Let's some love to our players. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oh, I can't freaking believe I did that. That's really frustrating. So dumb. All right. Well, it happens. What are you gonna do? So I will attend to that now. The good news is that I'm going to address this right now, and so that will be that. It's just, I'm going to say it's because I'm still on West Coast time, and so that's probably why that happened. I'm going to guess that that's the real reason. I was still on West Coast time. So yeah. That's why that happened, I guess. But that's going to be it for me. I am going to head over now and get ready. First, I'm going to cancel my card, and then I'm going to go over and get ready. Oh my God, so frustrating I did that. But I'm going to go over and get ready after that for my Pen and Pixel show over on GOG, where I will be doing Divinity Original Sin 2. I guess the good news about this, actually, now that I think of it, this card was due to expire in later this year anyway. So actually, it's okay. It's actually not the worst thing in the world that it was going to change. So it's... well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell them. That doesn't matter. I'll deal with it. But yeah, we're going to, but I'm going to head over for Pen and Pixels and Divinity Original Sin 2 on GOG. I'm going to go over there and do that right now. And I will be there at the top of the hour. So in about 40 minutes, you can find me over there as I continue with Divinity Original Sin 2. Next week, by the way, we will have do more Dungeons and Dragons, these folks, and then D&D with GOG, Storm King's Thunder, will be happening next Tuesday as well. So you definitely don't want to miss any of that. If you like what you saw and heard today, please make sure to follow the stream. Please make sure to follow the channel. Please make sure to check out the Discord with !ArvCord, Twitter with !ArvTweets. Please make sure to check out the YouTube channel with !ArvTube, where all the past broadcasts of this stream are. Please make sure as well to support the shop with !ArvShop. Please make sure to check well, that's not going to happen again, Dragon. It's because I was trying to be a nice guy quickly and I just was stupid. Anyway, so Arv Shop, as I said, where you can get merchandise, hopefully Infinity and Beyond, already Infinity and Beyond, but soon Adventures of Middle-earth and other merchandise as well. And then last but certainly not least, the Patreon, !ArvTreon, which is sitting at $478.96. A lot of cool stuff you can get for yourself, a lot of cool stuff that you can get for the channel. And of course, that sub button right above the channel window, where you can do what a lot of people did today, actually, which is resub and resupport the channel. That's really helpful and makes a big difference in the channel and allows you to do things like Inspire. I will try to update the Inspire, the inspirations as well sometime this evening. So thank you all for being here, though. No raid today because, as I say, about 25 minutes, 35 minutes, I'm going to be over on GOG, and I'm going to be doing my Pen and Pixel show with Divinity Original Sin 2. That's it for me. I'm going to go take care of some financial matters, and then I'm going to go over there at 4 o'clock. Thank you all to the wonderful people who made this an awesome stream today. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Chaotix, Dragonspear, Terry Tunes. Good job today playing as always, Terry. Thank you to my wonderful viewers, Classicor, Lucathea. Thank you to Amal. Great job playing today, Amal. Thank you to ECAG, Electrical Skateboard, and Counter Roleplay. Great job today, Will. Thank you to Fruple, the Jagtris. Thank you to Le Croissant. Thank you to Mandabar. Middleson. Thank you to Palin Revno. Middleson, I don't think I've seen you in here before. I hope you like what you saw and heard, and will follow if you can. Thank you to Poltergeist Zero. Thank you to Psychotic Monk. Thank you to Questionable Results, Skagit, Streep. Thank you to Tonica, Tasty Chai. Thank you, Chai. Always a pleasure. Also in my D&D with GOG group. Thank you to Trendane. Great playing today as always, Trend. Thank you to Uncle Elias. Thank you to Valerian Gamer. And thank you to 0137. Thanks, everybody. Love you all. You're the best viewers on Twitch. And I'll see you guys in about a half hour, a little bit more than that, over at GOG for Pen and Pixels. Until then, everyone be good to each other. Have a good night. Day. Something.